I'm good with it. So I just need to go on the right. That was Myron Metcalf. It's Matt Myron on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. Myron is gone today on one of his 15 vacations, which means David Dennis Jr., the approved co-host, fill-in co-host of Matt Myron, is here. David, nice to see you. Do you have strong thoughts about truck drivers?
Yeah, they are kind of the worst a little bit. There's like one.
What is wrong? Why do you keep assigning me to people who don't like truck drivers?
There is one. Well, first of all, we'll get into. First of all, I had to do a real thorough application to get on the show with you. It's real tight to get in here. I needed Myron. He had to do a recommendation. I had to write an application. I had to do an oral, speech thing before. It was a lot of work to get on. So I'm happy to be here. Honored to be here. But there's one little area in Atlanta where these truck drivers, they're supposed to turn left into the trucking thing, but sometimes they know you think they're going to do that. When they're not turning left, they like to bully you off the road, and it's terrible. So they are kind of bullies.
Yeah, but these are the people that drive commerce in America,
Yes.
and, they're away from their families a lot. And so I have a lot of respect for the truck driving community. Now I see Myron and David Dennis Jr.
I don't know how much their family actually kind of wants them around because they kind of seem like
wow.
Maybe part of it is just like, hey, just go. Why don't you do the truck driving job and just be gone for 4 days out of the week? We're good over here.
Well, they work for 40 hours a week for a living to move it up and down the line is what Alabama told us in the 1980s, and I still hold that truth today. I'm on your side, truckers, even though these arrogant ESPN hosts are not. Matt Myron is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling home and auto easy. Learn more at Progressive.com.
What are we thinking about?
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Time to find out. This is Off the Top.
Flash off the top rope.
With Matt and Myron.
The busiest couple weeks of the sporting year and the most underrated couple weeks of the sporting year have just gotten kind of completed. You had the NBA Finals, the NHL Finals, NBA Draft, NHL Draft. You had Dennis David's favorite event at the UFC 250 at the White House, and then you have baseball. And then you also now this year have the World Cup, and we are through the group stages. We are down to the final 32. The bracket is in place. Ended last night. Messi came off the bench, scored again for Argentina. Algeria and Austria in a game that most people thought was going to be irrelevant, and they were just going to kick it around and have a tie. Had one of the most exciting games of the tournament. And Uruguay's Football Association canceled the Uruguay flight private jet home because they said they didn't play well enough and they would have to fly commercial back to Montevideo. David, of all the things that have happened recently, I know you've been into the World Cup. Which one stuck out to you?
The canceling the flight, man. That's just this deserves a lot of discussion about, especially in terms of, can we do this like for other things? Can we just do my concern, my questioning here is like, you get blown out 40-0 in an NFL game, right?
Yeah.
Can we just be like, hey, Frontier Airlines?
I'm good with it. I actually think it's, it's a long flight, I would think, from wherever Uruguay played to Montevideo.
Right.
But nevertheless, Uruguay, if you just look at the disappointment of the tournament, they're probably the biggest disappointment of the tournament. The three sort of sneaky underdogs were supposed to be Ecuador, who made it to the group stage, Turkey IA. Okay, I'm going to learn that at one point. Who did end up beating the United States, even though they got eliminated, and then Uruguay, who didn't win a game and who didn't move on. So I do think there can be some punishment for not reaching. That's the country that won the first World Cup. They are one of the hosts of the next World Cup. You got to get to the group stage, and if you don't, do like everybody else and fly Delta.
Yeah, I get. I mean, on the bright side, your points, you can get more points that way, right?
you can get more points.
I don't know if you can get points on a charter, right? You get more points. Maybe a free flight, somebody else later, right? Good for them. Get those MQDs up. It's really important when you're trying to travel, so you won't be, driving all over the place, stuck behind those terrible truck drivers. So you get in a plane. I think it may be a good thing for them. Maybe a good thing for for Uruguay. I would say for the World Cup, maybe not treat these guys like this, but in regular sports, I think that there should be, like, kind of like how you give somebody the game ball
Yes.
you should also give somebody the Frontier ticket. So, like,
Frontier.
one person gets a game ball, and then one person flies Frontier and has to ride back while everybody else is
I don't know if I
on.
could do Frontier all the way to Uruguay. That would be a tough.
Well, not Uruguay, but like an NFL team.
Oh,
like
okay,
if you're
Denver
Cleveland
or something. Yeah,
if
go
you're
to Denver to Cleveland. All right.
Yeah, Cleveland, Denver. Right. I'm not pointing out Cleveland in particular. I'm not assuming that they're going to have a lot of people who have bad games in Cleveland. Just don't want to say that about them. But you know, I'm just saying, if perchance Deshaun Watson has to fly Frontier, would that be the worst thing in the world?
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But now, when you look at I listened to this British soccer podcast during the World Cup. It's it's the Guardian football podcast from the Guardian newspaper, and it's there's a host, and then there's like a cantankerous Irish guy, and then they'll have people from the countries that are playing. And so I've listened to it every day. They do a daily wrap-up. And they had kind of said that for the powerhouse countries, this part of the World Cup has just kind of been fun because everyone sort of knew they were going to advance. And they had an interesting question yesterday, which is, now that the serious part's about to start, what are the headline? Like, what are the most important things that have happened? And I was thinking about that maybe from an American point of view because they were thinking about it from a British point of view.
Right.
And I would say for the average American, to me, the three biggest stories are this. Number one, Messi, 6 goals, has sort of, I think, made all Americans get to the point that they want to see America play the first. They want to see Messi second. I would say then second to me is America. The fact that we're not only advanced, we've looked really good, at least in the first 2 games doing it. And there's this belief that maybe we can do something in the knockout. And then maybe third has been the way the country has sort of embraced it. And you've seen all these great moments, Scotland and Boston, the rowing, Albania in Kansas. There have been all these cool moments across the country. Those are kind of, for me, the 3 headlines of the first 2 weeks. What about you?
I would say those. I would also say just France just looking dominant. Right. Like that part has been a big part of it. But the Messi thing has been really cool because it's so rare when you get to see GOATs like raise their GOAT stock. Like you just don't. You kind of
especially when they're old.
Especially when they're older, right? Like like we were talking about like LeBron. He's just kind of like steadying the GOAT pace, right? Like if you want to make the argument for LeBron as the GOAT, right? Like he's not doing anything. He's not going to win a championship, and he's also not going to be like an 8-point-a-game guy. He's just like steadying the GOATness, right? Messi is adding to it late in his career and really putting a lot of distance between himself and some of these, other people when you're talking about the GOAT conversation.
And it's actually kind of good for Messi that in the same tournament he's in, you see Cristiano Ronaldo at the same stage of his career, but clearly not the same player.
Right,
so to the extent people had that debate, you could make an argument that these 3 games have kind of crystallized who was actually better. I do want to sort of say I have been surprised how much this country has really gotten into the World Cup.
Really? Okay.
Because I knew that people would watch USA, and I knew that people would go to the games. I never really felt like there's too much diaspora here in America from all over that I knew people would go to the games. What has been surprising to me is to go over to friends' houses. Like I ate with my family in like a family dinner last night, like 10 people, and my aunts who don't even like sports were watching England, Panama, and cheering during the dinner. I didn't really expect that to happen, and I think that's happened on a level that has to really please soccer lovers in this country.
I agree, but I think part of it is the nature of soccer itself as a game that you could just turn on and watch. Like soccer is just probably, I would say soccer and hockey are the 2 games that like you're going to watch and people are going to start like yelling and cheering without totally knowing what's going on, right? Like when you watch soccer and you don't really need to know. Like if when people are watching, when the ball is close to the net in any sort of discernible fashion, even though like the pro would know there's too many defenders there, he's not actually going to score. If the ball is anywhere in the vicinity, people are going to make noise. And sometimes it's just that simple. That's all you need to just turn on a game. You have nationalism. You have you're going to root for whatever country you root for, and then you have a ball that's close to the net, and you're going to start yelling. Like, I think that's kind of a simple formula.
I actually think that's a really insightful. It sounds basic, but it's actually an insightful. I do think that's probably part of it. People still don't understand the offsides rule, including me at times.
Right. Yeah.
When I can't remember, I think it was South Korea versus Iran.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand why the Iran goal didn't count. But nevertheless, if you put the offsides rule to the side, it is pretty easy to understand. I'm glad. And I think it will get more exciting in the next couple weeks as we get to the knockout, and we'll talk more about the U.S. And the games they have. Now, Jaylen Brown had an analytics site say he would be the 7th best player on a really good team, which is odd since he was the 2nd best player on a title team just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
However, that made him mad. And my question is, can he play for the Celtics ever again? We'll talk about that and more here with Mr. Truck Driver Hater David Dennis and I'm Matt Jones here on Mad and Myron.
Camp to camp, team to team.
The Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza.
Committed to be great. I've never been around a guy that prepared like he did.
73 days until kickoff.
This is how legends are made.
The countdown continues on ESPN Radio.
Progressive presents ways to save money that aren't bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive.
I can't believe the deal we got on these seats for the game.
Wow, they must be pretty high up here. I think my ears just popped.
Yeah, here, put this on.
Is that an oxygen mask?
An official team oxygen mask.
Well, I can kind of see the field.
Good, your senses are still sharp. He's going to need them for phase 2 of the ascent.
Don't save money by sitting in the nosebleeds. You could save hundreds by switching to Progressive. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
When we started Oakland Roots Sports Club, we needed a strong foundation. Gusto has had our back since day one, making sure every hire, every paycheck, and every player is taken care of. They're the team behind our team. With Gusto, we stay rooted and give Oakland the love it deserves. I'm Idris Sargandawal, co-founder of Oakland Roots and Gusto customer since 2018.
See why 500,000 businesses trust Gusto for payroll, HR, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com/roots.
Grainger knows when you're a procurement manager for an office park, you're not managing one building. You're managing all of them. And to stay ahead, you need to see through walls and around corners. Lights about to fail, filters ready to clog, HVAC on its last leg. If you wait until something breaks, you're already behind. Count on Grainger for quality products, easy reordering, and 24/7 support. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buster Olney here for La Quinta by Wyndham. Summer mornings move fast, whether you're heading to the job site or catching the first pitch. But not every hotel makes it easy to start your day right. At La Quinta by Wyndham, you can wake up to a free Bright Side breakfast, including hot waffles, fresh fruit, eggs, yogurt, and more. It's the kind of lineup that helps you knock your morning out of the park. And while you're at it, book your next work trip at LaQuinta.com to earn Wyndham Rewards points with your qualified stay. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Terms and conditions apply.
A bandwagon fan. The biggest insult in sports. But this summer, during the FIFA World Cup, it's an invitation, America. Never watched soccer before? Perfect. Think a corner kick is a karate move? Sure, why not? Prefer sports where players can use their hands? Me too. Just here for the snacks? Now we're talking. So grab a bag of Lay's and jump on the bandwagon. We're undefeated. Lay's, the official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
As families head into summer travel season, there's one thing many people forget to plan for. What happens if someone gets sick when you're away from home? Joining us now is Dr. Peter McCullough with some smart ways to be prepared before summer begins. Doctor, summer is supposed to be relaxing, but travel can come with surprises. So why is summer a time when families should think ahead medically?
Because there's always stress about getting sick on a trip and then ending up in the urgent care.
What are some of the most common issues that families will run into during these summer trips from a medical standpoint?
Various forms of food poisoning or traveler's diarrhea, getting viral upper respiratory tract infections that get too far along and they become a bacterial secondary infection like a bronchitis. Then, of course, usual things like bladder infections, yeast infections.
So what do you recommend people do before they leave on their trip?
Everybody should consider having a medical emergency kit. Nowadays, we can pre-prescribe medications, cover dozens of illnesses ahead of time, and then people can be ready to go if something does happen. We have a guidebook as well as telemedicine available to get help when you're away from home and avoid the urgent care.
So it's really all about preparedness.
Rational readiness. And remember, other things can happen. Wounds, insect bites, poison ivy. We should all be prepared.
Bottom line, summer goes smoother when you prepare before you pack. Dr. McCullough, thank you so much. To learn more, visit urgentcarekit.com. Use the promo code SMALLS to save $45 on your medical emergency kit.
This song was specifically created for David Dennis
My
Jr.
favorite
when he's
song.
on. You're
it's on my playlist.
Big cowboy. I don't understand. I will say this. I love my producers. I don't know why they pick music like this. Even I don't like this kind of country music.
It's not me. It's the one person who picks the music.
Okay.
Oh,
Rachel,
no.
you know I
Throw
hate
under the
modern
bus.
country.
So half
old
the
country.
time I do it because I know you hate it. The
I
other
hate
half
it.
is because it's one of the first things that pops up in the
But
library.
who is this? What is this garbage?
It's one
you
of
just
your
played?
favorites, Luke Combs.
No, see, well, first of all, I don't hate Luke Combs, but you got to play like Luke Combs, like when he sang with Tracy Chapman.
I
You
only
can't
have
play
a
like-
couple of songs in the library, Matt, by Luke Combs. I just pick one to see.
Why don't we just completely agree we'll skip Luke Combs and like just
Sometimes
not.
I'm in the mood, okay, Matt? There's only 2 shows on the entire network I can potentially play it on, okay?
Well, we could see.
Well, I for one am glad you played it.
McGee.
I for one am glad you played it on this one.
Thanks,
So.
David Dennis.
I needed
Is
some
Matt
Luke
Myron
Combs this morning to get my day
here on
started.
ESPN Radio. Jaylen Brown, David. It's I don't want to say how the mighty have fallen, but it shows how quickly things change. 2 years ago, they're cutting down the nets. It's the J&Js. How many titles are they going to win? Is this the next dynasty? Yada, yada, yada. Then you end up with Jason Tatum getting hurt in the playoffs last year. And then the part of the season he misses this year, they get upset by the 76ers. And now, for reasons I've never really totally understand, there's been this belief, well, we got to get rid of Jaylen Brown. And let's try to do it with Giannis, et cetera. Just as a starting point, before we get to the latest news, do you kind of agree with what seems to have been the common wisdom that the Celtics needed to get rid of Jaylen Brown and go in a different direction?
No, not at all. Not at all. This dude, I mean, you don't even know what your team looks like. You don't even know what the healthy-ish Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown look like right now. The Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum who won a championship together are vastly different than the Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that you're seeing right now. Jaylen Brown's a better player. He became a better player last season. Jason Tatum, we don't know how healthy he is. I think that the Celtics have bungled this tremendously. I understand. You talk to Jaylen Brown and say, hey, Giannis is a top 5 player in the league. We love you, but it's Giannis. And then you just say, hey, we don't get the Giannis thing. Here's your 2 years, $75 million a year. Like that, I think that is the conversation to be had. But for some reason, they said Giannis doesn't work. Let's find out what else works.
But if you were Jaylen Brown,
dangle you on the deadline on the trade market.
David, you're a very proud person. So am
Yeah.
I. If you're Jaylen Brown, whether this is true or not, I think in his head believes he's one of the 3 or 4 best players in the league. Whether that's true or not is a different conversation.
Right.
But I think he certainly believes that. And I don't know if in his head he thinks he's better than Giannis or not, but he probably would think we're the same or in the same ballpark. If you know that they were going to trade you for him, and that the reason was Hugo Gonzalez, which blows my mind how you wouldn't get Giannis because of Hugo.
Right.
But if that's true, could you get over that and then come back and be cool with it?
Now, I would, for 2 years, $149 million.
You could get over it. Your pride could get it. Yeah.
I've gotten over a lot worse for a lot less. I'll just put it like that. I would get over it. Jaylen Brown, to your point, he's a different type of dude, man. Like this dude, yes, the money would be great if they offer it to him. This is a proud guy. And he's also a dude who continues to, in his mind, some of it's right, some of it's not. Just get disrespected since he's been with Boston. They put him up for trade about 3 or 4 times. He wasn't on Team USA. Other Boston Celtics were there. And now the biggest thing I think for him is why me and why not Jason Tatum?
So
why is Jason Tatum never on the trade deadline?
Why do you think that's true? Like you have probably more NBA sources than I do. I sort of look at it and say, again, with no knowledge, just from the outside, that it does look like to Boston management, whatever, that Jaylen Brown is the favorite, or excuse me, Jason Tatum is the favorite son, and Jaylen Brown is kind of the black sheep son, and that for whatever reason, 2 guys who both are very, very good, they look at one as significantly more important than the other. Are there any reasons outside of basketball that you think that's the case?
I'm not sure. I think that there are concerns about, Jaylen Brown's kind of different type of attitude than a lot of these folks. Like he's just
like how so? What do you mean?
Well, Jaylen Brown is going to do the things that he's doing now. He's going to tweet when he's upset. He's going to vocalize his problems. He's going to do the things on Twitch. He's going to complain to refs. He's going to do all this stuff that are a little bit more that are more abrasive, right? But I don't see anything from Jaylen Brown. Like generally when you have these and you say we're going to blow the team up, we're going to figure this thing out, and you have 2 guys who are equal, you kind of put both guys out there and see what the best offer is, right? It's very rare to have a situation like this where one dude is constantly the guy who is being put out there on the market when the other dude just came off an Achilles injury. Right? We don't even know how good Jason Tatum is going to be. And if I'm Jaylen Brown, the biggest part of this is why is it just me all the time that's getting chosen for this?
Yeah. There clearly is a reason. I mean, I guess it could just be the Celtics think Jason Tatum is a lot better. So is there a way for him to come back? I mean, have we reached the point of no return? Because I do think you're getting to a situation now, if you can't get Giannis, then you're going to get 2 dimes for a quarter in return. Like, I don't know how you get an equal package back for Jaylen Brown now, unless you just want to rebuild. And I don't know that the Celtics want to rebuild. I mean, I don't know that that really makes sense. Do you think they're just at a point that when the Giannis thing didn't work out, there's just no way for them to get equal value or greater?
No, there's no way. They can't get – I mean, the NBA is not built for you to get equal value anymore for these players. The NBA is built for these players to sign these massive, massive contracts to stay with their team because Adam Silver is responds to negative tweets more than he responds to what's best for the league. But that's kind of neither here nor there. But you're not going to get the same that you're going to get from Jaylen Brown. But also, you may not get a quarter for Jaylen Brown if he stays because there's so much bad blood and animosity with him and the team right now. So if they start playing bad, there's going to be all this conversation of is he upset? Is there issues with him and Jason Tatum? Like right now, Jaylen Brown may not be worth a quarter to the Celtics.
If you were ranking the top 30 players in the NBA, where would you have Jaylen Brown? Is he, in his mind, he's probably like 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
In my mind, he's probably like 12th or 13th. Where is he for you?
I would probably be around the same like 8 to 13 or something like that. Okay. Especially got to bring the two-way player in there. But the thing is, I'm not sure that Jason Tatum's better than this dude right now. Like,
really? I'm not is that because of the injury?
It's part of the injury. We just haven't seen what he looks like coming back from this injury. Like, he played. He had to sit out after a couple playoff games. Like, I'm not sure how much better Jason Tatum is than Jaylen Brown right now.
If you look at Brad Stevens' time with the Celtics, it almost seems like he could do no wrong forever.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that you've looked and go, I just don't feel like you handled that correctly.
Yeah,
like somewhere along the way, you made Joe Mazzulla. I never thought that was going to work, and then it did. And now all of a sudden, this is the first time you go, I don't know about that. We're going to get back to the World Cup, talk about soccer around the land. That's next here on Matt Myron on ESPN Radio.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up on Monday, I'm back from vacation with tons to talk about. World Cup fever is off the charts. The NBA draft is in the books, and NBA free agency is ahead, and baseball's in full swing. We'll talk about it all on Monday's Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
Pros, save more on what you need to get the job done right. Right now at Lowe's. Get 15% off select custom entry and interior doors. Plus, save $80 on the DeWalt 20-volt Max 2-tool combo kit. Now just $169. And at the Lowe's Pro Desk, bring us your materials list and get a quote in minutes. Handwritten, a photo, or even a sticky note is all you need. Keep your jobs moving faster and on budget at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
No days off when you love what you're doing. Sundays are the best day of the week because you're just one day away from First Take returning Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I love the Killers.
You do?
Yeah, of course.
You waited 3 years to tell me this?
I've told you this before, you just don't listen.
Michelle, name some Killers songs.
Oh, boy.
Mr. Brightside.
Yep, good start. Any else?
That's all you need to know.
Really, that's it?
No, there's more.
What other ones?
Tell us?
We're waiting.
If you played them, I would know them.
Then you don't know them.
Hold on, let me look them up.
No, that's the whole point.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Chris is up next.
Augie, you don't like the candy, man, because you like your name. You shouldn't be called Augie no more. You should be called Osa, because that's what I get every time I hear you call.
All Fun Bomb. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC Network.
This is SportsCenter.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. We're heading to the knockout stage of the World Cup. One match today, South Africa against Canada in Los Angeles. The U.S. will play Bosnia-Herzegovina on Wednesday. U.S. star Christian Pulisic did play in the final pool game Thursday. That's a good sign, according to ESPN soccer analyst Casey Keller.
He needed to get at least 30 minutes to really test himself, to get those first team minutes, to get that against opposition not in training where they're taking it easy on him. And I think we saw that he's ready to go. I mean, there's probably even an argument that he could have played 60 minutes, that he could have started, played 60 minutes, and then come off. But I'll take the 30, and I like what I saw from where he was.
That's Casey Keller earlier on Have It, Nev It on ESPN Radio. Major League Baseball Saturday, Dodgers hammer the Padres 15-3. Hunter Goodman clubbing 3 home runs for Colorado. By the way, not in Colorado. No elements needed. He did it on the road in Minnesota in a win over the Twins. Red Sox over the Yankees 4-1. Third straight victory for Boston over New York. And the Sox go for the sweep right here on ESPN Radio as our coverage begins 6:30 p.m. Eastern. First pitch at 7:20 Eastern. There are 4 games on the WNBA schedule today, and highlighted by the New York Liberty on the road against Golden State, against the Valkyries, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And don't forget, you can see it on the ESPN app.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Monday with NBA free agency on the horizon, I'll tell you which teams need to go superstar hunting if they want to compete for the title. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Alanis Morissette. What a perfect intro for our next guest here on Matt Myron on ESPN Radio. I hear that in Trinidad and Tobago, no one is bigger than Alanis Morissette. So Shaka Hislop, ESPN soccer analyst, is joining us to talk about the World Cup. Am I right, Shaka? You big Alanis Morissette fan?
I guess that's one way to put it.
The World Cup update is brought to you by Gusto. Gusto is your small business partner for payroll, benefits, and so much more. Get started for free at gusto.com. Shaka, we talked about this earlier. This has been a World Cup that America has embraced, I think, maybe more than I thought they would. Do you agree with that? And why do you think that's happened if you do?
I do agree with that. And I think it's good to see the state of the game here in the U.S. I went to college here in the United States back in the late 80s, early 90s, so I know the soccer scene from back then. I then went out to Europe where I played, and coming back, recognizing how far the game has advanced, how much MLS has contributed to that, and now how much hosting the World Cup in 2026 continues to grow that game, and not just grow the game in terms of participation and those boys and girls who are already involved in the game, but an appreciation from armchair fans who may not have watched a soccer game, who do not understand or know of the soccer culture, and particularly the fandom that comes with it. So to see that being recognized and embraced in the way that it has, for those of us who've been involved in the game all our lives, it really is a joy to witness.
So, Team USA, what would you say would be a success for this team? Because nobody's really giving them a shot to win this thing. But what would you categorize as a success?
There's only been, 8 or 9 countries that have ever won the World Cup, and that's for a reason. Now, USA, for me, have been far better than I expected coming into this tournament. I said before a ball was kicked that a quarterfinal is about right for the U.S. If the U.S. gets to the quarterfinal, that should be seen as a good tournament. Now, how the brackets have kind of all panned out, and if the favorites are to win their respective games going forward, I think the U.S. come up against Spain in that quarterfinal. Spain were one of the favorites. Spain are the current reigning European champions. While they themselves have not been great by their standards in this tournament so far, they continue to grow and will remain many people's firm favorites to get to the final, if not win it. So I say all that to say, while the U.S. have been far better than I expected, have been far better than, as I said, pre-tournament, I thought a quarter-final berth was deserving. They just come up against one of world football's big boys. I'm not sure that they can get the better of Spain. That should not take away from how good they've been, what we've seen of them so far.
Shaka, you were more confident than me. I mean, I just hoped I looked at their group when they got in and said they should get out of it, but they might not. I mean, Turkey was pretty good. Australia was okay. I mean, I thought they might come in as a second place team in the group, and then you go down and you would play Argentina in the Sweet 16 if you did that, and that didn't happen. So I actually would argue if you get to the Final 8 and you're America and you're one of the 8 best teams in the world, at least in this tournament, that would be, I mean, that's only happened once for America in history. That would be one of the great achievements of American soccer ever. And then Spain, I think that's a notch too far. But if you beat Belgium, for instance, to go to the Final 8, that would be a heck of an accomplishment.
It would. I am in total agreement with you. So let's start with that group that the U.S. were in. Coming into the tournament, I said, of those 4 teams, Paraguay, Australia, Turkey, and the United States, all 4 come into the tournament thinking that they're going to win the group. I think all had genuine expectations of that. And then in the first game, you saw the U.S. against Paraguay in a performance that I said was the best I'd seen from the United States at any level, at any time. You mentioned I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, so I grew up playing against the U.S. at junior national levels. Even including those, I thought that was as good a U.S. performance as I'd ever seen. Different performance against Australia, but every bit as effective. They had to be more disciplined. They had to recognize a lot of the phases of play in a way that maybe they didn't have to against Paraguay, who were just far too pragmatic in my view, and they got the job done. And then they earned the right to make the changes against Turkey. I read nothing into that result. I think a lot of people were making a lot of it for no good reason, in all honesty. They earned that right. They earned that rest. And now you go into the knockout stages, starting with Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think they get the better of them.
Talk about that game, because most people probably don't know much about Bosnia.
Well, Bosnia and Herzegovina kind of are one of the smaller European nations, have a deep history to their game, but are relatively inexperienced at the World Cup level. I think they come into this game against the US and will be similarly pragmatic and hope to hit the U.S. on the break. I don't think they have enough pace up front with the likes of Zeko, etc., to really hurt the U.S. But I mentioned their wanting to sit back and defend. I mentioned their pragmatism because that was exactly the approach of both Paraguay and Australia. And the U.S., similar approach, but two different opponents, two different threats, which I thought the U.S. just coped with so wonderfully well. And I don't expect anything different from Bosnia-Herzegovina going forward, or in the knockout range. And the U.S. have shown that they can cope with that just fine. They're very disciplined defensively. The attack really continues to grow. Christian Pulisic, I think, is back to full fitness after featuring for the last half an hour against Turkey, the first 45 against Paraguay when he had to be substituted. He looks as in good form as you could expect. Balogun up front is having a tournament to be remembered. This is a very good U.S. team, and I think will prove just far too good, given those departments, than Bosnia-Herzegovina.
So we've talked, there's Spain, there's France, and some of these powerhouses. Who would you say is the dark horse that we should be looking at here?
The dark horse for me would be Norway. I'm not sure if they are on the same side of the bracket as United States.
Would be who? Who did you say?
Norway.
Norway, okay.
Norway have an incredible attack, which includes Erling Haaland, who many believe is the best striker in world football, if not top 3 best strikers in world football right now. Martin Odegaard, the Arsenal captain, who sits in the hole just behind Odegaard. They have shown a real understanding about their game coming into this tournament. They have a significant attacking threat. Defensively, they aren't great though. So whether they are top-heavy enough to carry that poor defensive setup, time will tell. But they are one of the dark horses, especially kind of given the fact that they finished second in their group against who I feel are the favorites to go on and win it in France. Also, in that third group game against France, Norway rested 10 players. So the result was almost a foregone conclusion. Saying that, Norway did put up a bit of a fight. But now they come into the group stage, rested in a way that not many others do. So you applaud Norway for resting players in that third group game. They settle for second place. Now they come into the group stages far fresher than most. In a way that the U.S. did in resting players, but somehow were criticized for, which is why I go back to what I said previously. I am not at all critical of Pochettino's decision to rest players for that third Turkey game. I thought that was just good football management.
I am critical, though, of the way he dresses for the game. He looks I just feel like that's a handsome dude. He should dress a little better. Shaka Hislop, ESPN soccer analyst. Let me ask you one more question that sort of sticks out big picture going into the knockout stages to me. 9 of the 10 African squads made the knockout round. America won its group. Mexico won its group. Canada won its group. Or actually came in second in its group. It feels like to me the rest of Europe has always, and to some extent, Europe, Brazil, and Argentina kind of been ahead of everybody else. In the knockout stage, those teams may be the ones in the final 8. But it did feel like that the Africa and the CONCACAF teams maybe made a step towards at least the second tier of Europe getting closer. Would you agree with that?
I certainly would. I think those smaller nations, those smaller confederations are catching up. They're getting to understand the game in a way that they don't go out. They aren't too open. They aren't too expansive to get badly punished by some of the bigger European nations. The tactics of those smaller nations is catching up, even if the talent is still the ultimate decider between who wins a game and who doesn't. I'll also add, in this tournament, in 2026, 48 teams start in the World Cup. That's the first time we've had this bigger field. Now, the big concern around that was with these other teams coming in, with this many more teams coming in, the worry was for some of those smaller nations, we'd be seeing far too many huge scorelines, which was not good for the tournament. And I hold my hand up before the tournament started. I shared that concern. But as we sit right now, the only really lopsided result was Curacao against Germany. Curacao, the smallest nation to have ever qualified for a World Cup. In their first game against the powerhouses of Germany, they lose by 7-1. It was 1-1 for a spell, and then Germany just ran away with it. But other than that, and even then, Curacao went on.
And they tied. They had a tie.
Exactly. They performed really well with the tournament going forward. So you've not had these heavy lopsided results that many were predicting. And again, I hold my hand up. I'm guilty of that myself. And I think it speaks to these smaller nations, whereas they might be outmatched talent-wise, they've been able to keep up, certainly in terms of the tactics, in terms of preparation, in terms of understanding the games, the transitions of it during the course of 90 minutes, and how to manage those different departments. So credit to those smaller nations for closing that gap and giving some of these big boys a run for their money.
Good stuff. Shaka Hislop, ESPN soccer analyst. Love it. Hopefully we can have you again before the tournament's over. From Trinidad and Tobago to beautiful Bristol, Connecticut. That, my friends, is ability to adapt to your environment. Shaka, thank you very much.
As long as you give me some more Alanis Morissette, I'll be back.
There you go. We will talk some NBA offseason, more World Cup, and some NFL. That's all next here on Matt Myron.
Camp to camp, team to team.
The Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza.
Committed to be great. I've never been around a guy that prepared like he did.
73 days until kickoff.
This is how legends are made.
The countdown continues on ESPN Radio.
When you're a maintenance engineer in a beverage manufacturing plant, you keep production lines moving and quality on track because there's no room for slowdowns. With Grainger's vast selection of high-quality motors, sensors, belts, and hard-to-find parts, you can get what you need fast and all in one place, so nothing gets in the way of getting the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buster Olney here for La Quinta by Wyndham. Summer means travel, and for a lot of people, that includes their four-legged MVP. Mine is a yellow lab named Quinny. But finding a hotel that actually welcomes pets can feel like striking out. At La Quinta by Wyndham, pet-friendly stays are part of the game plan, so you don't have to leave your best travel companion behind. You can bring them along for every inning of the trip, because the road is better when the whole team's together. And when you book at LaQuinta.com, you can earn Wyndham Rewards points on your qualified stays along the way. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Terms and conditions apply.
A bandwagon fan. The biggest insult in sports. But this summer, during the FIFA World Cup, it's an invitation, America. Never watched soccer before? Perfect. Think a corner kick is a karate move? Sure, why not? Prefer sports where players can use their hands? Me too. Just here for the snacks? Now we're talking. So grab a bag of Lay's and jump on the bandwagon. We're undefeated. Lay's, the official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls.
Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
This is Adam Schefter, and on this week's episode, why the NFL decided not to have a supplemental draft, plus the latest on Brandon Ayuk, Aaron Donald, and more. The Adam Schefter Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Amber and Ian.
Dusty May is headed to the NBA. After winning Michigan a national championship, he is now going to be the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
His thought is on the future of college athletics. You don't know what the next year or 5 years is going to look like. And the opportunity to have Cooper Flag as your linchpin was too enticing to pass up.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
David Dennis Jr., Matt Jones.
Good
All
song.
right, the NBA
Can't be for me.
offseason's.
It can't be. You just think of this. I didn't pick this song.
I mean, did you?
No, I didn't.
I didn't think so. I mean, I don't know your musical taste well, but I feel like I was not your thing. All right, so the NBA draft of this week. There's been a lot of stuff happening, so I'm going to read you maybe the 3 or 4 biggest stories, and you tell me which one you think is the biggest deal. I'm going to put Giannis traded to the Heat to the side because there's been so many conversations about that that at some point, like, what else is there to say?
And it's not that. I mean, it's not going to determine who's winning the championship. So
I actually agree with you on that. The NBA draft occurs. Top 4 kind of go as we think. Devonta Peterson, Cameron Boozer, Caleb Wilson, and then a little shakeup after that, but fairly chalk draft, but a lot of potential stars. The Lakers sign Austin Reeves to a max deal, 4 years, $185 million. That dude wasn't even drafted, and now he gets a max deal. And then LaMelo Ball traded to the Timberwolves as the Hornets get out of the LaMelo Ball business. The streets of Charlotte are safer. We'll see if the team is better. Of the draft, LaMelo, Austin Reeves, which one do you think matters the most?
I would probably say LaMelo being traded to the Wolves because for the time being, that has kept Anthony Edwards steady in Minneapolis. Like, that is something that he seemed to want this trade. Now, I don't think it'll go as well as maybe Anthony Edwards thinks it'll go with LaMelo. I think that was not. I don't think that was a good trade for the Timberwolves to make. But when they moved on from Julius Randle, Karl Anthony Towns wins a championship without after leaving Minnesota, and you're looking at Anthony Edwards and you're saying this is going to be the next dude who asks out. Minnesota got cheap at the wrong time with this dude. They are not ready to win a championship. He's going to be the next guy out. And for the time being, LaMelo Ball going there means that Anthony Edwards, a potential face of the league type of guy, is going to stay in Minneapolis a little bit longer.
I agree with you on that. By the way, pour one out for Julius Randle. Traded. Oh. My goodness. I love him. He's a Kentucky guy. That's my guy. But they traded him in the 28th pick for the 33rd pick. Like, they literally said to him, we got to give a pick better than the one we have to get them to take you. That broke my heart. But LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Explain to me how these two dudes play together. They strike me as being the same, but Anthony Edwards is just better. So LaMelo Ball is going to be the second version of that. And how does that work?
Okay, offensively it works.
You think it does work? Okay,
it works offensively for a couple reasons. One, LaMelo gets guys open. So there's that. He is going to raise the roof on a raise the ceiling, not raise the roof, raise the ceiling on a bunch of different guys.
Yeah.
Particularly Anthony Edwards, who was a really good spot-up shooter from 3. We saw what he did with Concanipple and those guys and getting them open. Anthony Edwards now, you cannot just double team him at the half court line, which a lot of teams were doing, because LaMelo Ball now gets the ball at 4-on-3. So I think they're going to cause a lot of headaches offensively for a lot of teams. Anthony Edwards is probably going to score more points and have a better field goal percentage. LaMelo Ball, theoretically, is going to have the same. And what we know about LaMelo, when he was with Charlotte, he was one of the 10 most important offensive players in the league in terms of plus-minus, in terms of the offense being better, in terms of when he's off the court, all that stuff. I think offensively they're going to cause a lot of trouble. Defensively, LaMelo being healthy, those are the questions when you're talking about a team trying to win a championship. But in the regular season, they're going to cause fits offensively for teams.
But that trade does not change the fundamental calculus of the West. That it's Oklahoma City and San Antonio with Denver maybe a notch below, and then Minnesota's not in that group, right?
No, Minnesota's not in the group. Now, the things that does change fundamentally, I think it does make the chances of Denver playing against San Antonio, because Minnesota just had Denver's number. And like Denver, I think, does not have to worry about Minnesota in the way that they did before. So now, if you're looking at Jokic and you're saying, I don't have to play Denver, I don't have to play Minnesota, and now I'm playing OKC and I'm playing San Antonio, that changes things a little bit for Denver and Jokic in that balance in the West. I would say that they have a shot, depending on Aaron Gordon's health, to be back in that mix up there with San Antonio and OKC.
Now, I'm a big college basketball guy and have followed, because of that, I really have always loved the draft. And I'm of the believer that this draft we just had is maybe the best draft from 1 to 20 in 20 years. I mean, I think the top 4 – how many drafts do you get where 4 guys could become superstars? Now, they won't all, but 4 could. And then 5 through 20, maybe 25. Jaden Quaintance went 20th to the Spurs. He could be great if his injury is not. Yeah. You look at that and you go, man, there's so much talent. From the NBA perspective, do you get the sense that, like, a lot of teams, like Sacramento taking Darius Acuff, that could be a franchise-turning pick right there, and they made it at number 7. I think it is a fascinating draft for those reasons.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we're looking at, like you said, multiple All-Stars, multiple All-NBA guys. That top 4, how surprised would you be if Caleb Wilson ended up being the best player out of that?
You wouldn't. I don't think you would be. You wouldn't be surprised if any of them did. I think maybe if Cam Boozer did, that would just mean the other 3 guys ended up being disappointed. But really, you wouldn't be shocked with any of them.
Right, like Cam Boozer, I never quite saw him as the best player out that group, but I do think he could be like. He could be a guy that, like, a championship team was like, we could not have won this without Cam.
But he's got the highest floor. Like, he won't fail. There's no way he fails. I don't know if he'll be the best, but I don't think he'll fail.
Like, I think of him, they don't play similar, but like how OG Anunoby was for the Knicks just now. Where it's like, he's not a guy that carries a franchise, but there's no way the Knicks could win a championship without him.
Well, he's
like,
kind
he does
of a better
things.
version of his dad. Like, think about how good consistent his dad was, and now make him a little better, and I think that's what his son is.
And he also just has, like, this institute. Like, the thing about Cam Boozer that stood out, like, he missed some athleticism, but the thing that stood out to me the most is that the guy just always made the right play. He just always made the smart play, the right pass, the right switch, the right box out. He has this understanding of the game at such a young age. He's going to be an asset to whoever he plays for. My hope is that Memphis figures out a way to build something around him, or like build, a real contender. Because I would have loved for him to go to like this place like Indiana or someplace that's already looking like they're trying to make a move. Having to build something from the ground up is the only thing that kind of worries me about him.
I'll say this, because a lot of the conversation going in the draft was like, well, is Darren Peterson, is that going to work? And then people knew Boozer's name, and then there was the Caleb Wilson. People can't skip over A.J. DeBonza. The dude is an absolute freak of nature.
Yeah.
And I will say, he's going to be a star. I just don't see any way, David, he's not an all-star during his time.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he's not an all-NBA at some point. Like
he has to be.
Yeah, he's got to be. He just feels like a sure thing. Yeah,
and he's been like a sure thing for a few years, so he's gotten used to it.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he ends up not being.
And I think they're making a playoff
really
run. They're going to be in the playoffs this year. The Wizards.
Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a hot take. We will get back to the World Cup. Trae Young and David Dennis. That's next.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, baseball's fiercest rivalry is back.
Third home run of the inning. 5-0 Yankees.
The AL East leading New York Yankees are in Boston to face the Red Sox. Coverage begins today at 6:30 Eastern, with first pitch at 7:20 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
We expect our information in real time. U.S. Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. U.S. Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as, that's 888-665-0696.
Andy Ortiz, when I lost my mom, she was only 46. and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, baseball's fiercest rivalry is back.
Third home run of the inning. 5-0 Yankees. Ben Rice.
The AL East leading New York Yankees are in Boston to face the Red Sox.
Driven to right field, looking up, and it is gone. Home run, Wilson Contreras.
The Yankees at the Red Sox. Coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. This is Freddie and Harry.
Who's number one on your list, HD, of the best number one overall draft pick in the history of sports?
LeBron James.
You are out of your rabbit LeBron mind to take that guy over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
So you're telling me LeBron broke Kareem's record, and you got Kareem over LeBron?
Number 2.
Oh, yeah, I guess we got to move on to
Number 2.
All right, they're tired of us.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. The Rich Eisen Show.
The Chiefs should bring back Tyreek Hill. Let's go.
So we could run it back with him and Mahomes both rehabbing knee injuries. You imagine that happens, and he's just as good, and Mahomes is just as good, and they're taking the top of the defense off. Run it back like it's 2020 all over again. I don't think this is an overreaction. I just don't know if it's going to happen or if it's necessary. But if Stone Cold says let's do it.
And that's the bottom line.
Okay.
What? The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
All the latest news involving the NBA offseason, plus it's never too early to talk about the NFL, boys and girls. What team will be the most fun to watch in the NFL this season? All for you on the Reggae Monday edition of Freddie and Harry, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the mighty ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and don't forget about us on ESPN Plus.
This is SportsCenter.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. The World Cup has reached its knockout stage. First game of that stage set for 3 p.m. Eastern today in Los Angeles, South Africa against Canada. Now, the United States doesn't play until Wednesday against Bosnia and Herzegovina. And Tommy Smith of Sirius XM Radio says this ought to be a tight contest.
It's a case of two teams that will be very evenly matched. There won't be much in this game, I would imagine. And one of the problems that the U.S. have is they haven't done well against the European teams. So one of these days they've got to break that hex and they've got to step up. And this is as good a chance as they're going to get.
That is Tommy Smith earlier on Marty and McGee here on ESPN Radio. Major League Baseball from Saturday. Game 2 for the Mets post-manager Carlos Mendoza. And they get their first win.
First pitch, swinging a bounce it past the mound, base hit center field. Mets take the lead. Lindor is in. Young around third comes home to score. The throw comes in towards second. Vientos stops there, and on at first with a 2-run single is A.J. Ewing. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-2.
That call on 880 ESPN New York, 2-1 Mets over the Phillies. Sunday Night Baseball coming up here later today on ESPN Radio. The Red Sox hosting the Yankees and looking for a 4-game sweep at Fenway. Coverage begins 6:30 Eastern, first pitch 7:20 Eastern. WNBA schedule 4 games on it, highlighted by the Liberty at Golden State 7 p.m. on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy coming up Monday. From NBA free agency rumors to Major League Baseball, I'll react to it all in my upon further review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Matt and Myron on ESPN Radio.
And that dart 6'4" from Kentucky,
Matt Jones.
I went to a show horse competition with harness horses, and this dude Fred won first place.
This could not have been a professional event if just a guy named Fred won.
It was at the state fairgrounds.
Nobody named Fred is winning any elite competition.
Myron Metcalf.
Fred was going, get up, get up. He was doing the thing. He was like, get out, go. He was doing that with the thing. What's the thing called? What's the little thing
I don't know.
you hit?
You're just making things up. How am I supposed to know what it's called?
He was saying, get out, go. Whatever you do to the horse, what do you say to the horse with the thing you have in your hand? What is that thing? A baton? What is it called?
No, you say go. Everybody says different things.
Well, whatever he was saying, go, and the horse was going, and they were like judging the horses, and he won. No, he was just in the competition.
This
not in the race.
Sounds like something that happened in your neighborhood in Milwaukee.
It's not what happened.
People were betting on it in between dominoes and calling it a competition.
Whoa! What did you just describe?
I don't know.
Dominoes. Whoa!
Matt and Myron on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Not on that list and you want it, they'll cover it at Progressive.com. Go to 1-800-PROGRESSIVE because it probably can be covered. Kendra D. St. Aubin. Am I saying that right, Kendra, from Apple TV? Is that correct?
You absolutely nailed it. That was perfect.
All right, good. I want to get people's names right. Kendra, we've been talking about the World Cup. We've talked a lot about USA, so I want to, if you don't mind, use you to talk about some other teams. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me, after you've watched all the group stage, who do you think is the definitive, or is there a definitive, favorite at this moment?
Well, I know I'm not going to be shocking anybody here, but I think France is probably the definitive favorite. After they came out in that first game against Senegal, they got off to a slow start in the first half, but then the stars are going to be stars, and they were shining in their next couple games, and when you have Kylian Mbappe on your roster, that's a good thing, but Ousmane Dembele with a hat trick in the next match, so they can just kind of pass it off to the next player and decide, okay, now you're going to be the star in this game, you're going to be the star in this game, and they are absolutely flying right now, so that's going to be a team to watch for sure.
Yeah, so that's the favorite sort of the team, but I think the person that a lot of people know and love, but like new fans are kind of learning about him now is Messi. And like some of these people are watching him and saying, we've heard this guy's the GOAT. We're watching him score all these goals. But like what makes him the actual GOAT? For people who are not totally familiar, follow his career, what makes Messi so great?
I think it's his calmness on the ball. He's quality on the ball. And everybody used to kind of mock him about how little he actually moved on the field. And that's kind of his secret sauce, is that he picks the right moments to make the runs at the right time. And so you can kind of lose track of him as a defender, which sounds crazy. But in any sport, as you guys know, if you kind of hide in the shadows, you kind of lull your defender, your opponent to sleep, and then you make the right run at the right time because you think they're not doing anything. And he just finds himself in these pockets of space. And then when he gets on that opportunity, he's so good on the ball. He rides every tackle. He doesn't go down easily. He's not rolling around on the ground, waiting for the foul to be called. So there's a number of things that make him special. But I honestly think the biggest thing is his movement off the ball, because then he finds himself in great places to be on the ball, to set up his teammates, or to finish some of his chances. And everybody speaks so highly of him, his teammates, the fan base. There hasn't been a negative thing said about him. So it's been fun to see him shine again in this World Cup. It's going to be tough for Argentina to repeat as champions, but if you want to watch a midfielder and you're a number 10 out there, I would definitely highly recommend trying to keep track of Messi on the field and watch his movement when he doesn't have the ball.
Now, you said people never say anything negative about Messi. True. But that can't be said about Cristiano Ronaldo, who at least when I listen to British podcasts, they rip constantly and destroy I think it's Roberto Martinez, the manager of Portugal, for setting up a system to give this old man the ball. Is the Ronaldo, he stinks hype, do you think that's true, or do you think that's overrated? Where is Ronaldo at the age of 40 while he's playing here? Can he lead the team on any sort of run?
I don't think so. I mean, I think when you talk the tale of two goats, and that was always the constant debate. It was Messi versus Ronaldo when they were talking about player of the year, best player in the world. But I think what everybody is seeing now is Ronaldo is a little bit more about himself and less about the team, regardless of where he goes. He went to play in Saudi Arabia. Messi came to Major League Soccer. Messi wins a World Cup with Argentina. He's, the leading goal scorer in the World Cup, and he's in a similar age, whereas Ronaldo goes down on every challenge, looks for the penalty. Most of his goals that he has scored, or a good chunk of them, have been from the penalty spot. Even if he's not the one that got fouled, he'll grab the ball and take the penalty to kind of raise his stats. So I can understand the frustration with some of these other coaches, pundits, former players, all those things, because they see this player who just exudes confidence, but more for himself and less for his team. And so I think that's where the big criticism comes of Ronaldo. He's been more about himself and the money and the hype, and Messi is more about the team and wanting to do so for his country.
It sounds
for
like you're not a fan
family.
either, though. It's like you're saying, it sounds like Kendra's got some Ronaldo angst too. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. I've always been a Messi fan. It's like a long-standing debate in our family. We have you're a Packers or a Vikings fan, and you're constantly going up against each other and trying to prove your point. That's kind of how it is for this. It's like you're in the Ronaldo camp or you're in the Messi camp, and I've always been in the Messi camp.
Okay, let's keep this negativity going. I like this. Matt has got this going. I like this. Like we spend a lot of time, we talk about Cinderellas, who we root for. I want to know who we're going to root against. What's the team that we're going to hate as they go through the tournament and we want to see them lose? Let's get the negative boys. Who's the bad guys here?
Oh, man, that is a really tough one, because when I look at these teams, and I am all about the underdog, I love to see the smaller countries, the little countries, the countries that nobody expects anything from. I love to see them succeed and move on to the next round. So, when you go back to the negativity, we've got Messi against Cape Verde, which is like the story of the tournament, right? Cape Verde being the first ever time they've made it to the tournament. They're undefeated. They tied Spain in the first game, and now they're moving on, and they're playing Messi in Argentina in Miami in the next round. So if I had to pick someone that I wanted to root against, oh, man, I'm looking at the brackets here.
You're wanting to root against Messi. It's okay. You can root for Cape Verde. It's all right.
Well, first of all, I'm rooting for Cape Verde because I just love that story. They're not going to beat Messi in Argentina, but you talk about these stories that have come out of the World Cup and the fans and the doubt and when they're representing their countries and their crest. I mean, you just look down the line, and it's so cool to see the energy in all these stadiums. My daughter and I just went to the Netherlands game in Kansas City the other day, and we literally went there because we wanted to be a part of the World Cup and the vibe and the energy, and we're like, how can we miss this? How can we not go to a game? So, I mean, I'm going to just keep on the negativity train of rooting against Portugal. I'm just going to ride that train all the way till the end. Nothing against Portugal, but I'm going to stick on the Ronaldo negativity train.
Croatia plays Portugal. Let me ask you.
And I love Croatia. Croatia's
But by
great.
the way, we can hate England, right? Like, that's a completely American thing to do, is to hate England, right?
That's true. It's not coming home, right? That's always the big
Yeah.
I was like, no, you guys are not bringing it home. It's not going there. And there's always an arrogance about anybody who, plays for, represents, and is a fan of England because they've always thought they're just better than everybody else when it comes to soccer. So I'm on that train, too. That's a good one to be on. I agree with that.
Yeah, so we're talking about, let's get back to Team USA a little bit here for a second. What does this mean for them going forward? Like, if nobody expects them to win now, we're talking about the team and what they are building. Are they building for something like to potentially be contenders going forward in these years to come?
Well, there's two things here. When you look at their next opponent in Bosnia and Herzegovina, I think that's a game that they should win. And people should discount the last game, not because they lost to Turkey, who's actually a good team, but Turkey didn't advance, and, the United States was resting several of their players. So for me, when you look at Mauricio Pochettino, it's this year or bust. He's not expected to be here in the next World Cup. He's not expected to be a part of this team in U.S. soccer going forward. That's just the way the men's side usually works. It's very rare that you have a team for more than one cycle. So it's 2026 or bust. Can they win the World Cup? I don't think so. Can they do to a semifinal? Sure, why not? When you look at their path, if they win this next game, they play Belgium or Senegal. The winner of that game, Senegal is a very good team. Historically, it's a soccer country. I loved Pochettino's vibe the other day when people were asking him post-game, well, you lost the momentum in this last group stage game. You didn't get the results. And he was baffled by the question, like, no, you're thinking too small. I don't care about the group stage momentum. We've already won the group. We know who we're playing. I want to be eyes on the prize. We need to try to win the cup. The goals need to be bigger and better. You're thinking too small. And I think that's the energy that he's bringing to this team, to this country, and to this World Cup. Is like, yes, we already knew we were finishing first in our group. We knew we were playing Bosnia-Herzegovina. We want to focus on getting the best, team at hand, keeping everybody healthy, not on a yellow card, red card suspension, and win that next game and continue to move on and try to win the World Cup. So I think there's so many good players on this roster, and the way this country has gotten behind them, it's been so fun to watch. And I don't know about you guys, but if you had to pick a fan base, what's been your most favorite thing that you've seen from this World Cup? Because there's so much to see.
Scotland, of course. The Scots or the Norwegians. They've been a lot of fun. And the Democratic Republic of Congo, I'm mad they didn't let that guy in that stands straight all the time for Mumbamba. But nevertheless, they did not. Kendra, thank you very much. Great stuff. Kendra D. St. Aubin, Apple TV, MLS analyst. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. We're going to get to the world of headlines. There's other things going on in sports, and we must comment on them. That's next on Matt and Myron.
ESPN celebrates the games, the icons, and the moments that inspire generations. This Independence Day, we are live across America and tell the stories of the athletes who defined American sports. Sports Center celebrates America, July 4th, 5 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, and across Disney networks.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. ServiceTitan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades.
You love your land. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love all the great deals. With versatile compact tractors, professional-grade mowers, and durable utility vehicles, Kubota equipment can help you turn dream projects into reality. Kubota Orange Days is here, and so are the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, get select compact tractors with 0% financing available or save up to $5,500. Sale ends soon. Go to KubotaOrangeDays.com or stop by your local dealer for more information.
Grainger knows when you're a procurement manager for an office park, you're not managing one building, you're managing all of them. And to stay ahead, you need to see through walls and around corners. Lights about to fail, filters ready to clog, HVAC on its last leg. If you wait until something breaks, you're already behind. Count on Grainger for quality products, easy reordering, and 24/7 support. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buster Olney here for La Quinta by Wyndham. Summer mornings move fast, whether you're heading to the job site or catching the first pitch. But not every hotel makes it easy to start your day right. At La Quinta by Wyndham, you can wake up to a free Bright Side breakfast, including hot waffles, fresh fruit, eggs, yogurt, and more. It's the kind of lineup that helps you knock your morning out of the park. And while you're at it, book your next work trip at LaQuinta.com to earn Wyndham Rewards points with your qualified stay. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Terms and conditions apply.
A bandwagon fan. The biggest insult in sports. But this summer, during the FIFA World Cup, it's an invitation, America. Never watched soccer before? Perfect. Think a corner kick is a karate move? Sure, why not? Prefer sports where players can use their hands? Me too. Just here for the snacks? Now we're talking. So grab a bag of Lay's and jump on the bandwagon. We're undefeated. Lay's, the official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
As families head into summer travel season, there's one thing many people forget to plan for. What happens if someone gets sick when you're away from home? Joining us now is Dr. Peter McCullough with some smart ways to be prepared before summer begins. Doctor, summer is supposed to be relaxing, but travel can come with surprises. So why is summer a time when families should think ahead medically?
Because there's always stress about getting sick on a trip and then ending up in the urgent care.
What are some of the most common issues that families will run into during these summer trips from a medical standpoint?
Various forms of food poisoning or traveler's diarrhea, getting viral upper respiratory tract infections that get too far along and they become a bacterial secondary infection like a bronchitis. Then, of course, usual things like bladder infections, yeast infections.
So what do you recommend people do before they leave on their trip?
Everybody should consider having a medical emergency kit. Nowadays, we can pre-prescribe medications, cover dozens of illnesses ahead of time, and then people can be ready to go if something does happen. We have a guidebook as well as telemedicine available to get help when you're away from home and avoid the urgent care.
So it's really all about preparedness.
Rational readiness. And remember, other things can happen. Wounds, insect bites, poison ivy. We should all be prepared.
Bottom line, summer goes smoother when you prepare before you pack. Dr. McCullough, thank you so much. To learn more, visit urgentcarekit.com. Use the promo code SMALLS to save $45 on your medical emergency kit.
It goes like one margarita, two margaritas.
All right, somebody's going to be fired if we keep playing this song. Who is this? What is this garbage? Hardy? Something like that?
It's my guy.
Who?
Luke Bryant.
Is this Luke Bryan?
Luke Bryan, my guy. It's my favorite.
DDJ picked this song.
I picked the song.
You did?
They're my favorite guy. One of my guys.
I'm really glad that it's Luke Bryan, not Bryant. Okay, for your favorite.
That's what I said. Run the tape back. That's what I said. Exactly what I said.
For your favorite artist, I thought you might know his last name. It's Matt Meyer here on ESPN Radio. These are not the World Cup and NBA. That's not the only stuff going on. That's why we got to have headlines.
Extra, read all about it.
The Sunday headlines.
All right, James, what's up first?
He's the Kobe of country music. That's why I said that.
Stop. You need to just turn this guy's mic off. All right, go ahead.
All right. We all saw the pictures and videos of the 2016 championship Cavaliers team going on vacation together, celebrating the 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really great. But there's Timofey Mozgov, who was a part of that championship team, and he says, quote, I saw the video of that party. No one wrote or called me. So they left Timofey Mozgov out of the celebration.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't know. Was everyone else there but Mozgov, or was it just like a few guys from the team that got together?
It was just like 8 of the guys. 8 of the guys from the team.
That's a lot, though. I feel like if you're going to have 8, I think you got to go ahead and get, if you're going to have 4, I don't think you have to invite the whole team. But, David, if you get to 8, you got to go ahead and invite everybody. You can't just leave Mozgov sitting at home by himself.
I think the whole thing got weird because they were like, Kyrie ghosted us, and Kyrie's got to make a public. Then it became like a public thing.
Did Kevin Love go? Did he get invited?
Kevin Love was there.
Okay, then you got to invite Mozgov. You can't invite Tim.
What is the Kevin Love got to? Why? Why is Kevin Love?
I can't articulate the exact similarity there, but I think did Dellavedova go?
Dellavedova was there.
You got to invite Mozgov.
Maybe they don't have his number. Are you sure they have his number? I'm not sure they have Timothy's number.
I mean, you could call directory assistants and get it.
I'm sure this just reaffirms my thing. I don't want to go on vacation with guys. It gets weird. I don't want to go on vacation with guys. Because I just don't think it's as fun. I don't think it's as fun. Solo me or boo me. That's it.
I don't know what this has to do with the Cavs story.
Well, because it got weird. The Cavs got weird. It got weird. It got weird. There was this weird Kyrie thing, and then another guy comes and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, I can't go."
So do you just want to go on vacation just with women? Like you want it to be a girls' trip and David?
Just me and my wife, or by myself, no in between.
So you don't like going on vacation with friends?
No, absolutely
not. Friend vacations are the best.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't want anybody. I don't want to be on anybody else's schedule. I want to do my thing. Okay. My social meter goes down. I don't want to do anything. The Cavs trip seemed like hell on earth for me.
Well, I feel bad for Timothy Mozgov. I feel like you can't leave because it seems personal. If you're just like, no, Mozgov, and he seemed like a perfectly fine guy. So I feel
he seemed fine, but like other guys didn't make it. Damon Jones wasn't there.
But
like the
Damon
coaches,
Jones
like
is in
Tyronn
prison,
Lue wasn't
right?
there.
Like, I mean, he went to jail. That's a different thing.
Now we're doing background checks.
Damon Jones. Hang on just a
LeBron.
second. I think Damon Jones, who's on federal indictment, is not exactly the exact same thing as Timothy Mozgov.
We don't even know. They don't even know where he is. They don't even have his number. Nobody has to. You think Richard Jefferson has Timothy Mozgov? We can get Richard Jefferson.
I feel like the press got his number, so it feels like Richard Jefferson. He works. I
feel like Mozgov just kind of probably just reached out to anybody who remember that he was.
I feel bad for Mozgov. Who's next?
I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah, it's not like he was hard to find. I mean, he just popped up right after.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
So the NHL draft was Friday and Saturday. To no one's surprise, the first pick of the draft by the Toronto Maple Leafs was Penn State winger Gavin McKenna. And
it was to my surprise. I'd never heard of any of the people in the draft. So speak for yourself.
McKenna
I was surprised.
If you know hockey outside of the Hurricanes, I think you knew that Gavin McKenna was going to go number one role. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know I don't know how you could be surprised.
Also a Penn State guy. Maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a Pennsylvania guy too. But to help draft him, number one overall, to the Maple Leafs was Justin Bieber. And take a listen to how that went.
Mr. McKenna, we would like to draft you to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So I watched this, all right, because I like drafts, David. I think they're fun. I like watching people be happy. I watch the lacrosse draft sometimes. I just enjoy watching people be happy. So I turned this on, and they brought out Bieber, and it was so awkward. It looked like no one had given Bieber a script. He wasn't entirely sure what to do. He walked up on the stage. He sort of looked at Gary Bettman and was like, they were just staring at each other, really saying nothing. And then he whispered into Bettman's ear, can I call him Mr. McKenna? He does call him Mr. McKenna. The whole thing was so awkward, which makes me think maybe Bieber missed dress rehearsal. I'm not sure. I guess Bieber's a big enough star. If he wants to come and he's a Maple Leafs fan, you do it. But it was really strange.
I feel like you got to book Bieber for something bigger than this. Like if you got one Bieber call to make, this is not the Bieber call you make.
You would have said Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final.
Right. I was like, we need you to get in your underwear and play the piano like you did at Coachella. That's what he did at Coachella. He was in his draw. Oh no, he did the Grammys. He was in his draws and he just like played music in his underwear.
I must have missed that.
And it was fine. Or like you just play YouTube videos like he did at Coachella. Just do that halftime at Game 7. I just feel like that's what you do. You don't say, Bieber, we have this big favor. Come and say a guy's name wrong.
Well, also, it was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I guess the Maple Leafs are rivals with Buffalo. So the whole crowd was booing him.
Right.
So that was another thing. And I don't think they were booing him because they hated Bieber. I just think they're like, oh, it's the Maple Leafs, so we hate the Maple Leafs.
How fast do you think Justin Bieber got out of Buffalo?
Pretty.
Do you think it was before?
I don't think he stayed the night.
Do you think it was before the number 2 pick was announced?
I don't think he
was on
the
plane
night.
out of there.
Yeah, it was. I have to tell you, it was 10 minutes of the most awkward television. I'm a fan of awkward television.
Yes,
and that was very awkward television. What's next?
Penguins drafted twins.
I saw that. By the way, it sounded like they drafted the one. And then in the second round, they felt like they had to take the other one.
Kind of what happened.
Which I think is kind of...
It was an Antetokounmpo situation.
Yeah, but they wasted their second round pick on the other one. I will say, in the entire history of my life, I've never seen two twins that look more alike than those dudes.
What are they? The Rucks look like they are twins. Absolutely, yeah.
I've had a lot of twins in my life, like, well, I mean, like on sports. And like... And I've never seen two twins that look more alike than those two guys going to Pittsburgh. All right, go ahead.
All right.
There's another story you got to tell us.
Yeah, that's an off the air.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce reportedly getting married this week over the 4th of July weekend at Madison Square Garden. 2 questions. Do you think that's actually happening? And if so, why Madison Square Garden?
I'm going to say yes, just cause.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that's tacky, David, to get married at the Garden?
No, I'm sure they're not like at half court. I'm sure they got like a nice little situation
there. They're not from
there.
New York.
They're not from New York.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she genuinely showed up to support her Knicks and then happened to have a Madison Square Garden wedding a couple weeks afterwards, and that's not related whatsoever.
I think it's kind of cool. I hope they leave the jerseys like in the background. Like I want there to be a Patrick Ewing jersey in the wedding pictures. I think that would be funny. Or
is there a stadium you would get married? Would you want to?
No, I mean I would say Rupp Arena, but like that's problematic in its own way, and so I would. I don't know, probably not. But again, like if you can get Madison Square Garden, it is a little bit of a pull, you know. I mean, who gets married at Madison Square Garden? Nobody, right?
But I mean, like the best thing already just happened there, right? I don't want to be married at the place with the.
That's true.
Where
yeah.
My thing is like not the coolest thing.
That's actually a good point. I hadn't thought about that. We'll see. Caitlin Clark. That's all you got to say. There's your sports radio topic. Next on Matt Meyer.
Coming up on the Monday edition of Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and me, Michelle Smallman. With NBA free agency on the horizon, I'll tell you which teams need to go superstar hunting if they want to compete for the title. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
No days off when you love what you're doing. Sundays are the best day of the week because you're just one day away from First Take returning Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Portland Trailblazers. Do you know that they signed a full-time head coach to a one-year contract? I always reference this scene in Enemy of the State. You're either incredibly smart or incredibly stupid. This guy could be unbelievable this year. Another team has an opening, and he's like, you know what, I'm actually going to be out of here. A one-year deal for a head coach? I'm going to go with incredibly stupid.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. This is Sports Center.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. The World Cup moves to its knockout stage of competition. First game today in Los Angeles, 3 p.m. Eastern, South Africa against Canada. The U.S. will play its next game Wednesday against Bosnia-Herzegovina. Tommy Smith of the Grumpy Pundits on Sirius XM Radio says the U.S. will go as far as star Christian Pulisic can carry him.
I mean, he's the poster boy. He's the guy that all march to the same beat of the same drummer. And if that's the unfortunate part of it, is that if he doesn't have a good night, and Pulisic hasn't come up against players yet who are as good as he is, but as this competition gets deeper, he will come up against players who are as good as he is. And that's when the situation develops for the US, that other guys have to step up.
That is Tommy Smith of Sirius XM on Marty and McGee earlier here on ESPN Radio. Major League Baseball on Saturday. Boy, the Texas Rangers are playing well on the road in Toronto.
Here's a drive toward the right field corner. Lucas peeling back, still on the run. Leaps for it, can't get it. It's off the track. Duran scores. Osuna being waved home. It's an opposite field 2-run double for Elias Diaz, and it's now 6-0 in favor of the Rangers.
That call on 105.3 The Fan. Rangers winning a third straight 7-4. Over Toronto. Sunday Night Baseball coming up here later on ESPN Radio. Red Sox hosting the Yankees, looking for a 4-game sweep. Coverage begins 7:30 Eastern. First pitch at 7:20 Eastern. And George Russell wins the Formula One Austrian Grand Prix.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Monday, my favorite part of the NBA season is here. It's almost time for legal tampering, and I'll tell you everything you should be paying attention to. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
It's Matt Myron here on ESPN Radio. If you've been watching the news over the last couple of days, you know that there was a devastating earthquake in Venezuela. Last count, over 1,000 people have passed. You can help people affected by the Venezuela earthquakes. If you go to redcross.org/ESPN, redcross.org/ESPN, you can give to enable the Red Cross to prepare for, respond, and help people from this disaster. It is going to need a significant amount of work over the next, coming years. Go to redcross.org/ESPN. Now, David, have taken the view really for about a couple years that I saw a PFT commenter on Pardon My Take say this, and I said this 2 years ago. I'm opting out on Caitlin Clark discussions. Yeah. But when you host a talk show on ESPN, you can't always opt out. So I guess I'm opting in for 20 minutes here. The foul that led to the suspension, but no technical, has now led to questions about how Caitlin Clark is treated and respected, etc., in the WNBA. Sophie Cunningham, her teammate, was on the Show Me Something podcast and said, none of our team saw it happen because I promise you if we had seen it happen, we would have had Caitlin's back. Unfortunately, this type of blank happens every single game to her, and the league and the refs do absolutely nothing about it. David, do you agree that Caitlin Clark gets worse treatment from the other players and that the league does nothing about it, or do you disagree with that?
I half agree. I agree that Caitlin Clark is being treated like literally every other star athlete in the history of any sport, where you come into a league and you get all this attention. Everybody's like, you're the next GOAT, and people don't like that, and they rough you up a little bit. That's just the nature of sports. We just saw Wemby in the playoffs. He had to elbow somebody in the head because people were doing this to him. This is what happens with sports. Now, because of Caitlin Clark and because of the WNBA and because of these vultures who want to hop in and talk about how much they hate the WNBA and these black queer women and all this stuff, it's become this lightning rod where you got to call in the National Guard every time she gets a flagrant foul, despite the fact that Angel Reese gets fouled just as often and just as nastily.
On that little point, because I will freely admit, David, I don't watch enough of it to know. All right, so let me just say, my opinion is not an expert opinion when it comes to what happened in the games. Is it true that the other really good players, or in Angel Reese's case, the other really known players, get those same type of fouls?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Including like sort of cheap shots?
Yeah, well, a couple weeks ago, Angel Reese was rear naked choked and tossed to the ground, right?
Okay.
Alyssa Thomas did what she just did to Caitlin Clark, paled in comparison to what she did to Angel Reese, which was clothesline her by the throat and throw her on the ground last year. Like, this is part.
So you're confident, because I know you are a fan. You're confident in saying Caitlin Clark from the other players does not get worse treatment than other people in her situation.
No, she does not. Now, what I will agree with, and I think everybody will agree with, is that WNBA is the worst referee league in sports right now.
How so?
The referees just do not know how to get a hold of the game. They're just bad referees, like straight up. They just miss calls. They miss that call. They are inconsistent. For instance, let's take this game where Caitlin Clark got hit by Alyssa Thomas, right? The Fever had just played the Mercury a couple days before. And it got heated. Sophie Cunningham was pointing and doing her thing.
I saw that. That was a great video. I don't even know what she did, but it made me laugh.
It's the viral thing, all that stuff. There was an angle of Caitlin Clark on the bench, maybe saying a no word about one of the women on the other team. It was clear that when these two teams play in 2 days.
Oh, they play again in 2 days.
They had played so the Caitlin Clark hit came.
Oh, you meant back then. Okay.
Yeah, the Caitlin Clark hit came 2 days after that previous game, right? So it was very clear that there was going to be an aggressive game. Matt, you've watched enough sports to know in these series when you have one game that's super physical, the very next game, the referees are going to call it tighter. They're going to make sure that they have the game under control. The referees did not do that. So as a result, like, they let the game get out of hand. This Alyssa Thomas hit, which everybody knew was coming at some point in this game. It came. They called no foul. They called, didn't review it, didn't do anything. And now you have all of this outrage and all that stuff, which you gotta read the room. You gotta know.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a more basic question, because this is a question that on my local show somebody asked, and I don't have enough knowledge to know. And by the way, I think it would be perfectly fine for sports people to say, I don't watch enough of it to know. Because I think a lot of people take these hard opinions and they don't have any background on it, right? Like, I can say that about soccer, so why can't I say that about the WNBA?
Right.
Do you think Caitlin Clark is liked by the other players in the WNBA?
No. She's not liked.
And why do you think that is? Because in most leagues, I feel like the best players are generally pretty liked. Even if they want to be beaten during a game, they respect that. Like, why? If she's not liked, why do you think that is?
I think part of it is the same reason you don't like a lot of these other people who come into the league and they're proclaimed to be the GOAT before they've earned it. Like, that happens, right? That happens when you have these next big thing. They come into a league and everybody's like, well, how good are you really? And we're going to rough you up a little bit. Also, Caitlin Clark is kind of a brat on the court. She complains to refs. She's, throws these, fits all the time on the court. She's yelling at her teammates. She's yelling at her coach. Like, she's got a nasty attitude.
But it strikes me that when I see like the WNBA All-Star game last year, what was the group, the two women that did the film video stuff behind the scenes and all that. One of the things that struck me watching that was it seemed like the best players in the league, regardless of what they do on the court, seem to really enjoy each other's company off the court, and they seem to have fun. She doesn't seem part of that.
Well, I think that she gets along well, and I don't think that. I honestly do not think, and I'm not as tapped in terms of like the behind the scenes, but we saw her with Team USA. We saw her with Angel Reese. They were getting along. I think that for the most part, this is on court stuff. Her team seems.
So you don't think it's off court? You don't?
I don't think that it's like. I mean, she also just doesn't hang out with those people either. Like, she's just not part of that, inner circle or just circle of people. She's not in those TikToks doing this stuff.
I guess. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, she's just. But I think I don't think, like, we don't really see people making comments about her off the court or making posts about her off the court. It's really, I think, the actual. And this is the thing. This is the disservice to Caitlin Clark also. Yes. Is I think it's about the fans that, like, quote unquote fans, these people who are using her to talk about these women, because Caitlin Clark is a competitor. This is the thing we got to remember. Caitlin Clark is a supreme competitor, and she doesn't want you coddling her when she gets fouled like this. She doesn't want everybody like acting like.
Okay, so that's what I want to. I want to focus on that for a second, because and if you disagree with this, feel free to tell me I'm wrong. But this is just from afar my take. I feel like Caitlin Clark is kind of used as a pawn. Yes. For people who just want to make social commentary. Honestly, I think most of it comes from people who just want to hate on the women of the league and what they represent. But I also think it can be used sometimes by people who are very pro the league, just to they just hate her because of the people that are taking up for her. And from my view, I haven't seen her do anything to align herself with either side. Like, I haven't seen her. She doesn't seem to me to be overtly pro WNBA players taking up for their causes. But to be fair, I also don't see her sort of doing what, like, Riley Gaines does. She certainly doesn't do that. It seems to me that she just from afar looks like a woman who just wants to play basketball, that the world has created a social political narrative around, and I feel like it's kind of unfair to her. Am I wrong about that?
It's totally unfair to her, because Caitlin Clark, there's nothing that indicates that she don't want this. Like, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't want, like, all she wants, it seems like, is to be fouls called as they should be called and to play basketball. She doesn't want this thing where somebody fouls her and now there's leaving racist comments on Alyssa Thomas's page, and it's about Caitlin Clark is like she is the beacon of hope for like straight white women against in this oppressive league of black gay women who just hate her and are bullies and all this stuff. She doesn't want to be that. Like Caitlin Clark, what we do know, she's put out some things during the election about her, or not about during the election, but during the offseason about WNBA players and the women and how she rode on the back of black women and she supports them and things like that. Like,
I haven't seen her make any political comment that I could see anyone finding offensive.
None at all. Like but she said this, and some of those same people who were like, Caitlin Clark, she's being oppressed. They said she bent the knee and she was bullied into saying these things. Like, there's just no way around
she can't
this.
Win. But would you agree that in some ways she can't win?
She can't win because all she wants to do is play basketball. Yeah. And because even I talked about Caitlin Clark a week ago. I went to the Dream game and saw her play, and I'm like, she's kind of like she's not like the best player in the league. She's more like kind of a Trae Young, and she's going to shoot and turn the ball over, and there are flaws in her game. And the team made it deep into the playoffs, basically to a championship without her, and now she's back and they're at 500. Like, there are some basketball things we need to talk about with Caitlin Clark, and you can't even do that without it being about the fact that you hate Caitlin Clark because of what she represents, right? And for her, you cannot just talk hoops to somebody from all indication seems to love playing basketball.
I'll finish with this. And to me, it's obvious that the people who use what they claim is discrimination against Caitlin Clark to create a political statement. To me, it's obvious those are bad actors. Yes. I like to ask sometimes when people call in the show and bring it up, do you even watch the WNBA?
Right.
Do you really care? Because the answer is almost always no.
Right. What's the Fever's record right now?
They have no idea. So I'm going to just take it as a given that those people are acting as bad actors.
Right.
I do sometimes wonder, though, if on the other side, there is, because people rightfully are upset about how she's used as the symbol against WNBA players, that they take that out on her. Yeah, and to me, that's also, I don't understand why they do that. I have not seen Caitlin Clark make a misstep yet in what has to be such a hard line to walk for her. And I also feel, though, she gets it both ways. She's got these praise from people that she might not even want praise from, and she gets criticism from people who she might actually want praise from.
Right.
And I feel like that's I don't mean to feel sorry for her. I'm sure she's got more money and happiness and all that, but I do in some ways feel like she just cannot win.
It's a disservice to her. Like, Caitlin Clark deserves to just go out there and be able to play basketball, and she can't. With every single move that she makes is scrutinized about something beyond basketball when she just wants to hoop.
And she's not the first really good white straight player.
There's tons in the league right now.
I don't know why. Well, I know why, because she got all this attention in college, et cetera. And she's from Iowa, kind of middle America and all that.
Straight white, beloved WNBA, like Marina Mabry just scored 53 points and everybody was very excited about it. If you are going to say that you just hate these straight white women, then you got to reconcile with the fact that there's 10 others that are very beloved, and that there's something specific about Caitlin Clark that is drawing all of this ire. And it is that fact that she's in the middle of this political firestorm that she does not really want to be a part of.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. 888-SAY-ESPN. We're going to go back to the NBA offseason. LeBron James. I feel like I will be 60 years old sitting in the same chair, and we'll be going, what's LeBron going to do this offseason? Well, I don't know whether it will be or not, but we're certainly going to do it next right here on Matt Myron.
Coming up on the Monday edition of Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cole, Michelle Smallman, and me, Chris Canty. From NBA free agency rumors to Major League Baseball, I'll react to it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
When you're a maintenance engineer in a beverage manufacturing plant, you keep production lines moving and quality on track because there's no room for slowdowns. With Grainger's vast selection of high-quality motors, sensors, belts, and hard-to-find parts, you can get what you need fast and all in one place, so nothing gets in the way of getting the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buster Olney here for La Quinta by Wyndham. When you're on the road this summer traveling for work, your routine can fall behind faster than a 3-0 count. especially if your hotel gym is non-existent. But at La Quinta by Wyndham, every location features a full-size, fully equipped fitness center. So whether it's cardio, weights, or a quick workout before a long day, you can stay on top of your game. No excuses, no shortcuts, just your full routine, ready when you are. And when you book at laquinta.com, you can earn Wyndham Rewards points with every qualified stay. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Terms and conditions apply.
A bandwagon fan. The biggest insult in sports. But this summer, during the FIFA World Cup, it's an invitation, America. Never watched soccer before? Perfect. Think a corner kick is a karate move? Sure, why not? Prefer sports where players can use their hands? Me too. Just here for the snacks? Now we're talking. So grab a bag of Lay's and jump on the bandwagon. We're undefeated. Lay's, the official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls.
Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
Amber and Ian.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is a member of my Miami Heat. Ole, 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 ole.
Now we have to deal with LeBron.
Come on down, baby.
Yeah.
Come on home, Bron.
Nobody ripped LeBron more than Amber Wilson.
That was then. This
and
is
all
now.
of a sudden now, if he's in play to go back to Miami, nobody will be a bigger LeBron fan than Amber Wilson.
We back, baby.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
And has had the worst music we have ever played on this show. I pride myself on Matt Myron in having good music that's interesting, that leads to conversation. And today we just decided what is the biggest garbage that we can play, and then we're going to throw that on there. Nevertheless, I understand.
I like to maintain that means we're having conversation about it, so therefore it's so bad that it's good.
I get it. From a content perspective, maybe good. But just from a quality perspective, this whole soundtrack of this show should be thrown into the trash, as it represents the worst of country music.
This is what the kids would call
That's
rage
not even
baiting.
country music.
You're getting rage baited, man.
Do you, David? Is there any country music of any point in history that you like? Like, do you like Johnny Cash or Dolly Parton or anyone?
No.
Not at all.
No,
Nobody.
No,
okay.
Not really. No, not.
That's a shame. I bet you, David. Who's like your favorite music group?
I would say Outkast.
Okay. I mean, you got Southern in you. There's got to be some country twangy stuff you can roll with, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Like like the old country music, old school.
I
Country
bet
music.
you, if I took you to a Tyler Childers concert or something like that, I bet you could.
I went to a NASCAR event. I was covering a NASCAR event many moons ago in a previous life, and there was a guy.
You like NASCAR? Am I correct about that?
No, but I had a good time.
No, but you went. Okay,
I had a good time. I went. There was a good time. There was an open bar. So there was a country. What was the guy? Justin somebody? I got to think about who it was. He was a tiny man with a big hat. He was like, I was saying.
It's a tiny
Is that all,
man
is that
with a
all
big
of them?
hat.
Or that may be all of them.
I think that's most modern country music is tiny man with a big hat.
He
I
looked
kind of like
like,
the Outlaws. Like I like
looked-
Willie,
Okay.
Waylon,
Okay.
Merle, Johnny Cash. That's to me my.
Tiny man with a big hat
Was it
might just be
Justin
a
Moore?
song.
It is Justin Moore. Justin Moore. That's who it was.
It was Justin
'cause
Moore.
He's a tiny man with a big hat and awful music. No offense to Justin Moore if you're a listener. Just step it up a little bit.
What I
James.
noticed was that he just they just cheer for regular things. It's very different from hip hop. Hip hop is like I got a Benz and gold, and everybody's like, yeah, I want that. But country music is just like, I had a steak yesterday, and everyone's like, "Ah, me too." And it's like I get that.
No, there is some cheering for normalcy. I got a big old truck. Yeah,
Yeah, now I got a truck too, and I'm just like, cool. Like I wouldn't necessarily cheer over that. I had a hot pocket yesterday. Ah, like that's not really. I don't get that
There's
part of
something
it.
to be said for being happy about simple things.
guess so, yeah.
LeBron James now has Luka and Austin Reeves, who has a new $185 million contract. And now the question is, what happens with LeBron? Lakers, Heat, Cavs. In some ways, LeBron could pick his team because money is probably not an option unless he wants it to be. He can go ask for $1 bajillion, or he could go play at a very small salary. He's got the money to be able to do it. I would say to you, David, let's put it in two questions. A, what would you do if you were LeBron this offseason? And then B, what do you think he will do in this offseason?
Well, what I would do if I were LeBron, I'd retire. I would just
stop. Okay.
I would just
All right.
retire because I think the what makes this so fascinating with LeBron, like you mentioned, he could take a lot less money, but that's never been his MO. LeBron believes that basketball players, athletes in general, should max out their contracts at all times, and that owners should figure out all the rest. And that is a fundamental philosophical belief that he has. He does not believe in taking less money. The problem is he's not worth a max deal right now.
No, he's not.
And that's never been a thing that LeBron James has ever had to deal with. And I think if you would have asked him what he thought his career would be 2 years ago, he would say, I'm going to finish with the Lakers. They're going to give me $50 million a year. We're going to ride off in the sunset, and they're going to rebuild. Well, the Luka Doncic thing has just come in and just turned this on its head, and now the Lakers kind of don't need him. Like, they would love to have him for $20 million. Nobody in the league is going to pay LeBron James $50 million, and that's what makes this really tough.
So where does he end up?
Man, I think him and the Lakers are going to figure it out. I think it's
You
going
think
to
he just wants to live in L.A.?
I think he likes to live in L.A. It's 1 year. He's going to play
He
with
wants
his
to go
kid
back
again.
to Cleveland.
Doesn't
I mean,
want
but
to go
there
back to
would be some, if he went to Cleveland, let's just say theoretically, and, you would agree he's got a better chance of coming out of the East than he does the West,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, there would be sort of a synergy to be able to, like, all the criticisms he's gotten for being, a traveling man. I mean, it would be something sort of poetic about that if he could stand 9 months in Cleveland one more time.
I think so, but there's so much. Then you got to play with James Harden, man. Like, do you want to do that? Do you want to end your year?
James Harden's a good passer.
Playing
Could
with
set
James
up LeBron to his strengths. I'm just trying to play. I'm just trying to make the sell.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to do that. I think he wants to end with the Lakers, but they're going to make it. They're going to make it work for it. They're going to make it humbling. They're going to make it nasty for him. This is going to get worse before it gets better. I think he'll end up there at a number that is far less than the 50, 55 he's due. And I think the Lakers would actually prefer if LeBron said, I'm out of town. They may give him something low and let him and see what he says. But which is why, again, if it were me, I would just retire. I wouldn't have to deal with this narrative. I wouldn't have to deal with teams saying they don't want me. I wouldn't have to worry about being shopped. You leave being great still at 40, and everybody's saying he could have still played 5 more years.
Not inviting Timothy Mozgov to your retirement.
And not inviting him to
One person writes on the text machine, you need to make David publicly apologize with you there. He has something he did last year that has stayed with me for an entire year. And I've been waiting for you to host with him again so that I could write and say you needed to apologize. Please read him this sentence and make him apologize. So here's what I'm going to do.
I know what it's about. All right, go over.
I'm not going to say until after this commercial. This is what's going to be called a radio tease. What does David Dennis have to apologize to this man for, and will he have the guts to do it? That's next, going into hour number 3, here on Matt and Myron on ESPN Radio.
Coming up on the Monday edition of Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cole and Chris Canty and me, Michelle Smallman. With NBA free agency on the horizon, I'll tell you which teams need to go superstar hunting if they want to compete for the title. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
The Rich Eisen Show.
Rob Gronkowski is here, everybody. Could you imagine how many more Super Bowls you have if you had a Hall of Fame head coach?
I know, man. Dude, I would probably have like 8 Super Bowls if I actually had a real coach. Like someone that's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. You want to know who's a 4th ballot Hall of Famer now?
Who's that?
Tom Brady.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. This is Freddie and Harry.
Milwaukee, in my opinion, made the smart move. If you get a Jaylen Brown and 2 first-round picks, that doesn't mean you're not going to have the same conversation if Jaylen Brown decides not to sign an extension 3 years from now, which is the time left on his contract. They had a chance to rebuild their team and not gut their team at the same time. Giannis gets what he wants. He wanted out of Milwaukee for the past year or so. Milwaukee gets what they want, a chance to build again without Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. This weekend on ESPN Radio, baseball's fiercest rivalry is back.
3rd home run of the inning. 5-0 Yankees. Ben Rice.
The AL East leading New York Yankees are in Boston to face the Red Sox.
Driven to right field, looking up, and it is gone. Home run, Wilson Contreras.
The Yankees at the Red Sox. Coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Greg McElroy from the Always College Football Podcast. Check out our current episode where we break down the top 10 pass-catching units in college football. Download it anywhere you get your podcast.
Chris is up next. Augie, you don't like the candy, man, because you like your name. You shouldn't be called Augie no more. You should be called Osa, because that's what I get every time I hear you call.
Oh, fun bomb. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC Network.
This is SportsCenter.
Hello there, I'm Mark Robbins. Last week, the Boston Celtics came up short in trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Many wonder now what the Celtics will try and do next. Gary Washburn of the Boston Globe says Boston needs a point guard.
They need to get someone who can get Tatum and Brown the ball where they can in their preferred spots, as opposed to those guys always having to create for themselves. I think there was too much ball handling, too much of kind of one-on-one play between those two guys this year. And I'm not sure if Derek White can take on the responsibility of being kind of the lead guard, making threes, and then being a first-team All-NBA defender.
That's Gary Washburn of the Boston Globe earlier on ESPN Radio's Game Night. NBA offseason, of course, about roster movement. We'll see what the Celtics do next. Major League Baseball heading toward the Midsummer Classic. Will the Dodgers remain atop the National League West? Well, they sure will if they hit like this.
Betts lifts it in the air, left center field, back toward the wall. This ball is gone! A home run for Mookie Betts. He has hit a homer in 3 straight games.
The call on AM 570 LA Sports. Dodgers pummel the Padres Saturday 15-3. Sunday Night Baseball is coming up here on ESPN Radio. Red Sox will host the Yankees at Fenway and are looking for a 4-game sweep. Coverage begins 6:30 p.m. Eastern with the first pitch here on ESPN Radio at 7:20 Eastern Time.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, coming up Monday with NBA free agency on the horizon. I'll tell you which teams need to go superstar hunting if they want to compete for the title. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Matt and Myron on ESPN Radio.
And at Dart 6'4" from Kentucky,
Matt Jones.
The level of fireworks in my neighborhood, I've been here a long time, was unlike anything I'd ever heard. It sounded like I was in a war documentary or something, and it was coming through the microphone. I called the non-emergency number.
See, wait a minute. You called the police on people shooting fireworks.
It wasn't normal fireworks. It was like M80s. It was dynamite. There were grenades.
Myron Metcalf.
At one point, I think I heard a bazooka. There was a missile launcher. My neighborhood shouldn't sound like a documentary on Nam. It shouldn't sound like I'm taking enemy fire in my neighborhood, in my living room.
One person writes, Matt, does he go up to little kids with lemonade stands and ask to see their permits?
See, y'all are taking it too far.
Randy in North Carolina.
Myron, what in the world? I can't believe it.
Matt and Myron on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
If you're in Milwaukee and you shoot those fireworks off, make sure you follow the hours. Myron's got the police ready to call on July 4th coming up here this weekend. This is Tyler Childers right here, David, by the way.
Oh, well,
you think you could do this right here? Just listen to it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You think so?
Yeah, as relatable. I, too, own a rooster.
He says he's got women up and down this creek. That's David Dennis. So, you should be good. All right, 888-SAY-ESPN. Now, before the break, I have a text machine, which people can text in. It's 772-774-5254, and you can text in whatever you want. So this person wrote that, David, they've been waiting for you to host for me for over a year. Because they want you to publicly apologize. Now, this person says this person's from Kentucky.
Okay.
So what do you think this person wants you to apologize for, a Kentuckian, for something you had said over a year ago?
Oh, if it's specific to Kentucky, I'm not sure. I was assuming it might be one of those losers who say "we" when they're talking about their sports team, but they couldn't be that guy.
No, that's not it.
That's not it. Okay, so I don't know where
this is what they say. David Dennis was the biggest Karl Anthony Towns hater in America. I like him, but his hate of Karl Anthony Towns made me so mad. I think it is time for him to publicly eat crow for being so mean to Karl Anthony Towns. There you go. Are you willing to publicly eat crow, as we say in Kentucky, for your hatred of Karl Anthony Towns?
I have never hated Karl Anthony Towns. I've said, well, you were on the show apparently, and you were there.
I don't remember this.
Don't recall this at all. I don't recall this. I've said that he was one of the reasons that the Knicks were struggling so much. He wasn't playing big, wasn't getting in the post, wasn't playing great defense, wasn't getting to the boards. And lo and behold, they won a championship. Karl Anthony Towns.
Now, wait a minute. Now, you can't do that. You can't say. You can't make it to where you can't win either way. You can't make it to where you say, my criticism of him was valid when he actually went and won a title. You can't do it both ways.
No, my criticism was valid because at the time he was not doing the things that that we were talking about. He does the things they win a championship. I'm just saying.
So you're telling me you don't think he rebounded until this year?
I will say this.
I bet his numbers are very similar to what they were the year before.
I will say this. During these playoffs, I've said multiple times that Karl Anthony Towns has outplayed what I thought he could be. He was a 100% better player. He did all the things so much better than I thought he was going to do, particularly in the finals, guarding Wemby. Wemby had nothing for Karl Anthony Towns. He outplayed Wemby in the finals, except for a couple games where he had foul trouble and 2 points, I think, in Game 5 or whatever it was. Like, I think that overall, his outperforming all those things I talked about a year ago is a big reason.
So is this an apology? It feels like a long-winded way of saying you're not going to apologize to Karl Anthony Towns for the hate.
No, not apologize. It's not hate. It's not hate. It's not hate.
Well, as a Karl Anthony Towns stan,
okay,
I have always liked Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes,
I've told this story many times. I'll tell it to you. And do you remember the 2015 Kentucky team that was so good, almost went 40-0, and then lost to Wisconsin in the Final Four?
Yeah,
It had like 10 guys that played in the NBA.
Okay.
They went to the Bahamas before the season started. Mm-hmm. And the best epitome of who Karl Anthony Towns is this story.
Okay.
He loves his team, but he's a little weird.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
as I've heard, yes.
Yes. So the team is around the pool. It's like the Harrison twins, Willie Cauley-Stein, like all these guys that were good. Devin Booker. And a booster, this is now legal, so we can say this, buys them all shots to celebrate going 40-0. Their goal was to go 40-0 before the season even started.
Right.
They do a shot. Karl doesn't drink. But Karl comes running over and goes, I want to do a shot. And he takes the shot glass and he has a shot of air, is what he said. I'll take a shot of air with my teammates.
Okay.
So the whole team does a shot, like they clink it together, and Karl takes a shot of air.
Okay.
And I feel like that's the epitome of Karl Towns.
Yes.
It's a little weird to take a shot of air,
yes.
but he wanted to be
you could have put some juice in there.
Or water, or anything.
Water.
He just took a shot of air, but he wanted to be part of his team, and he still was a good guy. I feel like that's Karl in a nutshell.
I'm with you, because I will say this. As I have been critical of Karl Anthony Towns, I have also been a defender of the fact that you got to separate, like the way that the people talk about him off the court was really not cool, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's like conflating those two things, right? Like he's kind of like played soft sometimes on the court, and then people started talking about him off the court, like all this other stuff, and it just was not ever really cool. Yeah. So I'm glad, and because Karl Anthony Towns is like one of the great humanitarians in the NBA, who's been through so much. He's got all this stuff.
What movie was an NBA champion in? You probably wouldn't have guessed Devil Wears Prada 2, but for Karl Towns, that's the movie he did. That's the movie he made an appearance in. I want to we do this every once in a couple weeks. I just like to sort of check into baseball because the season is, I believe, 83 weeks long, and it's still going.
Me and Becky Hammond, by the way, never apologizing, ever. We're doing this together.
I feel like Becky Hammond needed to apologize. I mean, she specifically said Jalen Brunson can't win a title. Like, she should have probably noted that was incorrect.
Yeah, I think that just saying my bad, I was wrong is fine. You got to apologize for it, though.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a bridge too far.
All right, so let's talk about a couple things in Major League Baseball. First of all, Jacob Mizorowski threw a pitch 105.5 miles per hour. I have a friend who was a college pitcher who told me yesterday, I don't believe it. He was like, there's no way a person that looks like him could just throw it 3 or 4 miles an hour faster than anyone else. It's just not happening. Do you believe Mizorowski can throw the speeds that the elite media is trying to tell us they do?
Yeah, why not? I mean, they're using like technology to do this. You can't do the thing where we're leaning into AI technology in baseball and not believe that the guy threw 105 miles per hour. Like, what
105.5. But to be fair, the second fastest thrower is Hunter Green, who kind of maxes out at like 101, 102.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of crazy that he would throw 3.5 miles an hour faster than anyone else.
Well, but look at what the guy's doing. He's throwing out of his mind, throwing like the nastiest stuff. What is ERA? Is like a -5 like or something. Yeah, this dude is playing out of his mind. Like weird. Why would you not believe that eventually people could just do these otherworldly things? Like, do we feel like this is, I don't know, like big speed gun that is like that is behind this?
Like big pharma, big speed gun,
right? Like, what do we think the impetus is for them lying about him throwing 105?
We have Buster Olney on with Hammer and Emmett yesterday, and he was saying that like he's Mizorowski, he's like lanky and he has very long arms. And so when he throws with his wind up and everything, he's like throwing the ball so much closer. Like his release point is so much closer to the.
Well, that's what they used to say about Randy Johnson.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of the same thing. Yeah,
you think it's the same premise? Okay, well, I'm not going to argue with Buster Olney. I will say for you baseball aficionados, especially pitching aficionados, next Thursday, Jacob Mizorowski is pitching against Chase Burns. And you could make an argument those are the two best young pitchers in baseball, and they haven't ever pitched against each other. Both of them throw like a bajillion miles an hour. That is a game. It's a Thursday afternoon, David, that I actually think is one you might want to tune into if you're just a casual baseball fan.
It's not like a good pitcher matchup. Like, we just don't get,
you don't get them.
Yeah, we don't get them a lot, and to have we usually don't get them until the playoffs, really. But to have them in the regular season, it's must see.
And there's something about young guys, because
yeah.
Those two guys are both very young. At some point, their velocity will go down, right? Like, it's just going to happen. To see them at the feet, it's like I was watching live when Kerry Wood had 20 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And he never reached that peak again. But I remember that was one of the most exciting baseball games I ever watched, just to see that happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen next Thursday, but you get to see two dudes just heaving it like they will.
Yeah, like it's going to be great to see. Hitters don't have a shot. I mean, because also not only the speed will go down, like you worry about injuries. It's unfortunate every time you watch baseball, you watch pitchers who throw at this velocity. You're worried about the injuries and how long this. You feel like they're on like a career pitch clock, and right now nothing's happened to them yet.
All right, I got a response. This is from the person who asked that you apologize. I really like David. I think his dad is a hero, and I have mad respect for him. With that said, he was like Stephen A. Smith hating on LeBron when it comes to Karl Towns. Nice to see him acknowledge his mistake.
Yeah, there you go. I think we've come to a middle ground here.
Okay, good.
I think
I'm glad
a lot of respect.
You and Stephen A. Smith. Now maybe Stephen A. will do it with LeBron, and we can all be
everybody
be
great.
Tune in for baseball action later today as the Red Sox host the Yankees. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Well, the NBA draft was this past week. We'll talk about some of the fits and who got a steal, and maybe I actually didn't think anybody made a bad pick, which is rare. That's all next here on Matt and Myron on ESPN Radio.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, baseball's fiercest rivalry is back. The AL East leading New York Yankees are in Boston to face the Red Sox. Coverage begins today at 6:30 Eastern, with first pitch at 7:20 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Grainger knows when you're a procurement manager for an office park, you're not managing one building, you're managing all of them. And to stay ahead, you need to see through walls and around corners. Lights about to fail, filters ready to clog, HVAC on its last leg. If you wait until something breaks, you're already behind. Count on Grainger for quality products, easy reordering, and 24/7 support. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buster Olney here for La Quinta by Wyndham. Summer means travel, and for a lot of people, that includes their four-legged MVP. Mine is a yellow lad named Quinny. But finding a hotel that actually welcomes pets can feel like striking out. At La Quinta by Wyndham, pet-friendly stays are part of the game plan, so you don't have to leave your best travel companion behind. You can bring them along for every inning of the trip, because the road is better when the whole team's together. And when you book at LaQuinta.com, you can earn Wyndham Rewards points on your qualified stays along the way. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Terms and conditions apply.
a bandwagon fan. The biggest insult in sports. But this summer, during the FIFA World Cup, it's an invitation, America. Never watched soccer before? Perfect. Think a corner kick is a karate move? Sure, why not? Prefer sports where players can use their hands? Me too. Just here for the snacks? Now we're talking. So grab a bag of Lay's and jump on the bandwagon. We're undefeated. Lay's, the official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up Monday, I'm back from vacation. Tons to talk about. World Cup, NBA draft, NBA free agency, NFL training camps around the corner, and more. That's Monday's Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
It's Stevie Nickelback here doing. Actually, no. I think Nickelback gets too much hate. To be quite frank with you, it's fine. And people act like it's the worst thing in the world. It's fine. You give me, if I'm in the right mood and I hear Photograph, David, I can still go, you know what? Yeah, that's nice to see a photograph from high school. That's right.
There's this thing about, like, nostalgic, these groups that everybody just kind of hates. Like Nickelback, Linkin Park, Dave Matthews Band. There's just like a backlash.
But I don't understand why people pick, like, Nickelback is like the one that people act like is the worst thing that's ever existed. And I don't know why. I mean, it's
especially
fine.
when Creed is there.
Yeah,
Creed's
okay.
Right there.
You think Creed should get the smoke?
I mean, Creed should get a little bit of the smoke.
I think a big thing is they kind of sometimes sound copy and paste as far as how they write their songs, and I think that upsets people.
You think that upsets people?
And also, like, I like Nickelback. I've listened to them for a long time.
That doesn't surprise me.
But, like, their first album compared to what they put out after is a little bit different.
Yeah, but
and people get mad at
you know what? Everybody, most people
much.
don't even have one good album. If they get any good albums, now let me ask you this, David. We have an event.
Keep going through the Nickelback discography. This is great.
We have an event here. We have an event in Kentucky called Bourbon and Beyond. It's become a very huge concert series, and I'm going to read you the list of these are the headliners. Which of these would David Dennis want to hear? Okay, this is all in Louisville, September 26th, for 4 days. Foo Fighters, yes or no?
Yeah, I'll go to a Foo Fighters show.
Mumford and Sons.
Absolutely not.
No banjo? No banjo for you?
No.
Okay, Chris Stapleton.
No.
Dave Matthews Band.
Sure, maybe. Like, just for nostalgia, I'm familiar.
Queens of the Stone Age.
No.
Casey Musgraves.
No.
Red Clay Strays.
I just know Casey Musgraves. She was the one pretended to be excited when she won a Grammy that one time, right?
Yeah, but she's got Follow Your Arrow, I bet would be a song you'd like. Hootie and the Blowfish.
No.
You wouldn't want to go see Hootie.
No, I wouldn't want to go see
Hootie. Hand. You don't like that?
No, that sound no.
Dolphins make him cry, man.
The Dolphins make him cry.
Yeah,
okay.
Make
Counting Crows.
Ears bleed. No.
So this concert series doesn't seem like it appeals. 4 non-blondes. What's going on?
Well, that's not the group I was thinking of, but sure, yeah, non-blondes.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like Bourbon Beyond maybe puts the music that David would like.
Could I walk around freely at Bourbon and Beyond?
Of course you could. We are very welcoming in Louisville. You've been to Louisville many times.
I've never been to Louisville. I need to go to Louisville.
You've never been to Louisville?
I got to come to the crib.
Louisville's the biggest in America without a professional sports team. Did you know that?
I got to come. Yeah. I got to come check it out because Louisville is all the Muhammad Ali stuff.
See, that's what I was going to say. For you, let me get real quickly sell you on Louisville. Muhammad Ali Museum is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. They did a great job with it. It's beautiful. It's right on the river. You want to do that. That's where all the Louisville Slugger bats are made.
Okay.
When you want to go watch the place where they make all the bats, isn't that interesting? Kentucky Derby. Can I interest you in the Kentucky Derby, David?
I can go. Can I be your +1 for the Derby?
I promise you'll be good. I know. Like, Myron always says the same thing. Yes, you could be the +1. We'll get you good tickets for it. So
sounds like you're just gonna give me tickets I have to buy. That's what it sounds like.
No. I would take care of them for you. Bourbon. All the bourbon distilleries are in Louisville to Lexington. Do you like bourbon?
I do like bourbon. Like a good bourbon, yeah.
So it sounds like you need a week.
I need to make it's like a 6-hour drive from Atlanta or something like that. It's not bad.
It's exactly 6 hours. You're exactly right. It's a 6 hour drive.
I thought about it. I wanted to go. I need to make a trip. Long weekend.
You know, we were hurt because about 10 years ago, the Grizzlies, Memphis Grizzlies, almost moved to Louisville.
Okay.
Which could have been the Louisville Grizzlies and would have
there.
been a whole new thing, but that didn't happen. All right, so the draft. Grizzlies got Cameron Boozer, making a little transition. Darren Peterson.
That's good radio, yeah.
Yes, Darren Peterson to the Jazz. By the way, am I wrong in saying the Jazz might be good next year? Like the they
Jazz,
have a chance to.
Jazz got
good,
an outside
right?
shot there. I think they got an outside shot of a play-in. I think they could be a play-in team. For sure.
I mean, we've forgotten them for so long.
Well,
they could actually be good.
They've been playing their good players. They've been trying to lose for so long. They got Laurie Marketing. They got Jaren Jackson now. Now
Do you
have
think
Darren
Peterson is going to enjoy being in Salt Lake? It feels like an odd matchup there.
NBA Youngboy lives out
Kansas.
there. NBA Youngboy is out in Salt Lake City. He's out in Utah. You know, are you?
Who is that?
NBA Youngboy fan? How much NBA Youngboy you listen to?
I mean, I've heard of him. Does NBA ever want to sue him for copyright for having NBA in his name?
I would probably, I don't know. I would probably not because it just never broke again is what it stands for. So I think it's different.
Well, that's what I would say too if I was going to be sued for copyright. I would say no.
NBA Youngboys out there, maybe Darren Peterson, NBA Youngboy, they go to shows and go hang out together, stuff like that. There's stuff to do.
Caleb Wilson goes to the Bulls, and then after that, you got the Clippers take Keaton Wagler, the Nets Mikael Brown, the Kings Darius Acuff. Any of those guys after the top four that you specifically think could be like a steal for the draft?
Acuff. I think Acuff is a guy that can – there's going to be a 40-point Acuff game this season where everybody's like, what in the world are we witnessing?
Who's that guy?
Yeah. Like he is going to – especially when teams play the Kings and they may not be playing their starters for whatever reason. But, like, there's going to be a game where he looks like or maybe a week where he looks like an unstoppable scorer. Acuff just knows how to get to the basket. I think Lindenberg at 11 with the Warriors, I think is going to fit.
That's an interesting
really
fit,
well.
by the way. I mean, that's the closest you're going to get to a veteran in the draft. Yaxel is probably it. What do you think about – so Dusty May gets hired by about Dallas Mavericks, and when it comes time for his pick at number 9, 3 of the top 4 guys left on the board are all his former players, right? So you got Mara, Yaxel, and Morris Johnson. How do you think Yaxel and Mara like the fact that their coach essentially said, I love all of you, but I love him a little bit more? What do you think? Do you think that you think he was able to handle that well?
I think you can. I think you can swing it for a couple of reasons. One, I do think that he was the better fit for Dallas than the other two. Like, I don't think Dallas has any need for like a 7-3 center. And Yaxel, I'm not sure if he's quite the fit for Dallas. And I think they both – I mean, you think those guys are going to be complaining about the fact they're in OKC and Golden State? like they're.
Oh, sure. They got in good situations.
Yeah, they're in good situations. Mara's going to be playing for possibly a championship. He's going to be guarding.
When I watch Thunder Spurs in the Western Conference Finals next year, am I going to see Mara on the floor? Do you think he's good enough to play in those games?
Does he have 6 fouls at his disposal?
He does.
He'll be playing.
Do you think he was picked kind of as a Wemby? I mean, he's not a great defender, but but how many people are going to be available in the draft that are as long as Wemby? He's almost as long. Do you think there's a chance that's partially why they got him?
I think so. I think if Chet had been better in the playoffs, they would have looked somewhere else. But you wanted size. You wanted a guy, at the worst, he can just put a body on Wemby and cause some trouble. And this is going to be – they're going to be having to contend with Wemby for the next 5 to 7 years. Like OKC, I would say this. He's not going to be only big who's rolling through OKC trying to stop this guy. They're going to be trying everything they can.
I will say the biggest feast or famine player in the draft, the one who could be a star or out of the league in 5 years, is at number 6 with Mikael Brown to the Nets. I saw him sometimes with Louisville where he looked like the best player in the country. And then there would be times where it looked like you got to take him off the court if you want to win. And so that dude, and I hate that he's in Brooklyn because it feels like that's about the worst place he could be.
Yeah.
But there is a world where that guy ends up one of the top 3 players in the draft. He is as much of a boom or bust as you will ever see in the NBA draft. I think Mikael Brown is that. Brandon Ayuk has had a very unhappy few days. We'll talk about that and more next. I'm Matt Meyer.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, baseball's fiercest rivalry is back.
Third home run of the inning. 5-0 Yankees.
The AL East leading New York Yankees are in Boston to face the Red Sox. Coverage begins today at 6:30 Eastern, with first pitch at 7:20 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
When's the last time payroll was the easy part of your week? With Gusto, it can be. Gusto is the all-in-one platform designed to take the hassle out of managing your team, from payroll and compliance to hiring, onboarding, and more. With Gusto, you can get back 2 full days each month with all the time you've saved. Go to gusto.com today and learn why over 500,000 small businesses choose Gusto. That's GUSTO.com. Gusto.com.
You love your land. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love all the great deals. With versatile compact tractors, professional-grade mowers, and durable utility vehicles, Kubota equipment can help you turn dream projects into reality. Kubota Orange Days is here, and so are the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, get select compact tractors with 0% financing available or save up to $5,500. Sale ends soon. Go to KubotaOrangeDays.com or stop by your local dealer for more information.
No days off when you love what you're doing. Sundays are the best day of the week because you're just one day away from First Take returning Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Charlotte Hornets trading star guard LaMelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid.
It doesn't make any sense to get rid of Naz Reid. He's the type of player that you always find on a championship-winning team, and you just had a team that's trying to contend move off of him for a player that we're not sure can be taken seriously once we get to the postseason.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
MLB.tv on ESPN is your home for every out-of-market game, live or on demand. Catch your favorite teams and players, plus MLB Network and ESPN app features like Multiview, syncing your stats, key plays, bets, and fantasy, all in one place. Sign up now for MLB.tv in the ESPN app. Separate subscriptions required, blackouts and other terms apply. Visit stream.espn.com/MLBTV for more information.
The Baseball Tonight podcast.
I don't think people fully grasp what it is that the Dodgers are doing. Kyle Tucker been an average player. Edwin Diaz has not pitched since the middle of April. Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell are out. Mookie Betts has been bad. None of it matters. The Dodgers have overcome all of those things. They still have the best record in baseball.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit InsureKidsNow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. As we approach July in Major League Baseball, a lot of familiarity can be found atop most divisions. The Yanks and Rays are leading the AL East. Atlanta's best in the NL East. Dodgers comfortably in front in the National League West. But if you want some change, some young blood, if you will, check out the AL Central and the White Sox.
The pitch. A swing and a base hit. Ball game over. It got under the glove of Bobby Witt Jr. 2-1 the final. Walk it off again.
Well, the call on ESPN Radio 1000 in Chicago. White Sox now back up one game on Cleveland in the American League Central. Sunday Night Baseball is coming up later here on ESPN Radio. Red Sox hosting the Yankees and looking for a 4-game weekend sweep. Coverage beginning 6:30 p.m. Eastern. First pitch, 7:20 Eastern. Last night in the WNBA, Seattle's Flau'jae Johnson putting on a show at home against Atlanta.
It's poked away by Howard, rescued by Johnson. Shot clock at 6. Off the screen from Bob. Draws Reese on the switch. The step back is good. How many of those have the Storm made tonight? You got to tip your cap to them.
The call on WNBA League Pass. Johnson had 24 points, 11 boards. Seattle over Atlanta, 105-90. 4 games on the WNBA schedule today, highlighted by New York at Golden State, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and Disney+. George Russell wins the Formula One Austrian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen second. NASCAR, Ty Gibbs on the pole for the race in Sonoma, California.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up Monday, I'm back from vacation. Tons to talk about. World Cup, NBA draft, NBA free agency, NFL training camps around the corner, and more. That's Monday's Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
It's Matt Meyer here on ESPN Radio. This was Sports Center. It's a new interview podcast from Rich Eisen featuring Sports Center legends. It's available on Disney+, the Rich Eisen Show YouTube channel, and all podcast platforms. I got to watch the taping at the Super Bowl with Rich Eisen and Chris Berman, and it was really fascinating, and you can hear all of them. It's This was Sports Center, presented by Gusto. By the way, I apologize to Gusto. For 3 months, I've been saying Gusto, and no one corrected me. And then I got a message that said, Matt, you need to say Gusto. So
I feel like we tried to tell you that it was.
We definitely tried.
You did not try. I did not have I didn't have a personal view. I have to say Gusto. I just didn't know.
I will say, done a lot of these shows, different hosts. You're the only person who said Gusto.
So you wouldn't think GUS is Gusto?
No.
That's because y'all don't speak Spanish. Because if it was Spanish, it would be Gusto.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the rest of it isn't English, so.
Fair enough. I guess that's a good point. We've had a couple of athletes that haven't had the best week PR perspective. Let's start with Brandon Ayuk, who is going on Instagram and posting videos all the time. I could play a lot of the clips. Let's do this one. He was asked about going back to the 49ers at some point, and this is what he had to say.
The story is, I don't with them, and I never will. But I forgive, you feel me? You feel me? I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to heal. So I ain't finna hold it against, but we is not cool. We won't be cool, and I will never be stepping in that building except for on October 19th when I come through with that belt.
The word to beep ratio was very strong on that one. And then he was asked about John Lynch, the GM of the 49ers, showing up at his house.
General manager gonna pull up to my house. Oh, weirdo. Like, bro, don't pull up to my house uninvited, boy. It ain't safe. But I knew his ass was going to do it. So I'm looking at my camera, my front door camera. I see a big old white man, former NFL safety. And I'm like, oh, hell no. And I know my wife is about to be back home soon. So I had to call my wife and say, it's a big-ass white man at the house. I don't know what he doing over there. He was not invited. Creepy. So if you on your way home, probably just spin the block a few times because I don't know what bro on.
What do you make of that, David? Those comments and Ayuk's in general.
Hey, it's protocol. You got to call. Somebody's on the way home. You got to like, hey, there's a white guy at the house. You got to let them know before they pull up. You got to
warn them. There's a white guy at the front door.
Right. Don't want to be surprised. Like if Matt and you come to the door, be like, call my wife. Be like, hey, Matt, don't.
So if I came into your door, you would call your wife and say, "Who's this creepy white guy?"
I would just be like, be alarmed. There's a white guy at the door. It's Matt. It's just Matt. It's just Matt. It's a friend of mine. You can't just roll up. If I came to my house, there's a white guy at the door. I would just keep driving, pretend it's not my house till he left. Like, you just never know.
Is that what you would do?
Yeah,
just keep
driving,
driving.
just keep going. Just
wait for the white guy to go home. Okay.
Yeah, just wait. Right. Yeah, so you got to. So I understand where IU comes from there. That's important protocol. There also another very important detail here. He's from Cali, as you can hear in the accent. Weirdo. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Oh, is it?
You don't like him.
I'm not familiar.
Being weird, you're a weirdo. That's like we don't. That's some real stuff.
I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah.
What? So clearly things went wrong between John Lynch.
They ain't go right.
And Brandon Ayuk. If you were a Commanders fan, management, how do you deal with all this? I mean, at 49ers doesn't really matter. He's not playing there anymore. But how would you deal with it if you had to deal with Brandon Ayuk now?
Yeah, if I'm the Commanders, this is something that's like this is a little bit. This is a little much, right? Like for this is a little much. This guy doing all this YouTube and stuff, trying to get there, try to play for you. And of course, the Commanders can't say anything publicly about we want this guy to be our guy. But at the same time, like this, I want to call it all the way erratic. But I would just be like,
it's pretty erratic.
It is a little.
You could say
It's
erratic. Yeah.
I would just say like turn the YouTube off and just wait this out so you can come play with us. Like this is a little much.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think the issue is this just a dude who's mad and who's venting, or is it something greater than that will affect his future? And I don't know that we can. I don't know that you and I would know the answer to that question, but you do have to at least.
But how often do we see, just anecdotally, these guys who go on these rants, do these videos, and then they go to the next team and it's like, they're great. Like this is all of this stuff was just them. Like we just don't see it. Like usually this stuff portends something kind of like, we saw
what's
something.
What's his name? The receiver.
Like Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, yes. That's kind of, I'm not saying that he's him, but that.
Right.
There were some warning signs before he walked off the field that time.
Right. Yeah. Like there are some things that are just like, all right, you're doing a little much. And it usually means that they're going to do it at the next place too.
Yeah. Now, another athlete who's had not a great week, Phil Mickelson. Story by Alan Shipnuck. I have to tell you, there are very few stories that make me go, whoa. Mm. And the Phil Mickelson story this week made me go, whoa. Mm. Basically, it detailed kind of the fall of Phil Mickelson, specifically his being kicked out of 3 different golf clubs with a wave of sexual misconduct allegations, and he is withdrawn from all major golf tournaments in 2026. The Live Golf has said that he's in a private family health matter, which the story does say that his child is having a health issue, and that's part of it. But it detailed the fact that over the last 6 years, he has been kicked out of 3 private golf clubs. If you read the story, for various levels of from being creepy to maybe things more serious. And in the story, it included the allegation that that golfer Pat Perez, that he tried to proposition his wife Ashley, including, and this was the part I could not believe, showing her a picture of him completely naked, flexing one arm, and saying, "Come to my room later tonight." David, you got to be doing a lot of stuff to be kicked out of not 1, not 2, but 3 private golf clubs. What do you make of the Phil Mickelson news?
I don't. You can't just read the news of that and then toss to me after that, that weird stuff. You can't. No.
I'm not saying there's a debate as to whether it's good or bad. It's clearly bad.
Just read all the details. Like, Dave, what do you think of that? Very disturbing details of Phil Mickelson flexing and
the flexing is the part. First of all, who takes that picture? Yeah. Where you're just standing there naked flexing. Do you ask someone, David? I mean, I don't know who took that picture.
I don't know, but I do. I don't know. I will say I don't know, but I will venture to guess that generally when you do that, you don't just show it to one person. Like
I would think that's probably
this is
true.
This is not a situation where this is one person and then we're just going to keep it moving and pretend like everything's fine. Like these are serious things. Phil Mickelson's professional and personal life are kind of falling apart as a result of his actions when it comes, like the health stuff aside. Like when it comes to this, like this is tarnishing the things, and also this is only going to bring about more people digging and more and like this. We're looking at